All right, greetings to everyone. I want to greet you with lots of love, peace, and positivity as always. I want to thank you so much for tuning on in to the first discussion session for the documentary, Umar Johnson, War on Black Boys, the shockumentary he does not want you to see. I want to thank you all so much for being here, everyone inside the chat room. We had a wonderful premiere yesterday, and to be honest with you, I did not think that it would reach this amount of people this quickly. And I anticipate that more and more people will be reached to the point where a lot of people are going to wake up. They're going to wake up to the truth about Umar Johnson, and in particular the school scam, amongst other things too. What I'd like to do today is I want to open up the video line, as it were. And I would like to get y'all's feedback on the documentary. Really, this will be a discussion session. You know, what was it about the documentary that you may have liked, maybe that you didn't like? What are your thoughts on some of the topics that were brought up in the documentary? The thing I thought about too is, if you guys notice, excuse me, in the actual documentary, I have commentary, but it's more like a setup for what Umar Johnson actually states. And if you look at the amount of time that I'm in the documentary where I'm doing the voiceover, very limited compared to the amount of time that Umar Johnson speaks. And the reason why I did that is because ultimately these are Umar Johnson's own words. So it'd be one thing if I got up here and I said, Umar Johnson has suggested murdering 10% of black boys with no evidence of it. But if I play that for you and show it, and it's in video format, you see? If I told you that he wants to murder these black boy thugs on the corner, and that's his solution. You know what, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Because I've had a couple of black folk, and I don't tolerate this. They said, well, we do need to handle them. In other words, the black boy thugs, we need to get out there and murder them. Well, first of all, you ain't gonna do it. But more importantly, if you think about it, the solution is not murder. It's not murdering your own people. I want y'all to really think about this. That's not a solution. How about this? How about more of you black fathers get up off your asses and be fathers to your sons so that they won't be these street thugs? How about that? Huh? How about some of you black men, why don't you commit yourself to a black woman and have some children and be there from the beginning? Why don't you do some of that shit? How about that? For all this black conscious talk and all this, we need to do this and we need to do that. The best thing you all can come up with is we need to go out here and kill black boys. That's like when I hear people say, well, what are you doing? Well, let me tell you what I'm doing. I'm in a loving relationship with my wife going on 19 years. We don't argue, we don't fuss, fight, no cheat, none of that foolishness. And we're raising 5 wonderful children together. And I've been in my children's lives from the very beginning. In fact, I delivered the last 3 with my own hands. So for all this talk about what we need to do for the black community, first of all, what we need to do for you men, in particular, the ones y'all that kind of follow Umar Johnson's rhetoric, what your ass need to do is commit yourself to a black woman and be a father to your children. How about that in the first place? And see, if you're a father to your children, you develop fatherly compassion, and then you extend that to all other children, including those black boy thugs on the corner that Umar Johnson wants to murder. What kind of talk is this? We want to blame everybody else. The white people are doing this and systemic racism. Well, you're an absentee father. You call your own women bitches and hoes. Huh? You abandon your families. You abandon your wife. You abandon black women. You abandon black children. So don't tell me what am I doing, because what we need is for more black men to be men and more black fathers to be fathers and more black husbands to be husbands. How about that? Let's start there. And if we did that shit collectively, we wouldn't have to have all these boys on the corner that Umar wants to murder, these so-called thugs. And that's why the documentary is so important, people, because it illustrates Umar Johnson's orientation. His orientation is not family based. It's not family. You talk about institution building. The first institution is the family. And I don't care what color you are, what all that race talk, whatever you want to say. The first institution is the family. And you black men in particular, the ones y'all that want to follow Umar Johnson's rhetoric of murdering black boys, I want to ask you the question. Are you a family man? What if Umar Johnson arbitrarily decides that one of your sons is one of the 10% that needs to be murdered? Now what? And it's not even logical, because if you think about it, if we go out here and murder these black boys, that's why I call the documentary, Umar Johnson's war is not against anybody else but black people, and in particular black boys. You think about it, all you black men talk all this tough Tommy talk, tough Tony talk about you gonna go down, you ain't gonna do shit except run your mouth. But let's say that you did. Well, what would happen then if you go out here with this black civil war and you go murder these black boys? What's going to happen then? Now you locked up. And now you continue to perpetuate the cycle of broken families, where black men are not in the lives of their children, where they're not there present to be there for their women, for their wives. It's not even logical or rational. And that's why the documentary, in my opinion, is important. Because murdering other black people is not a solution. Now, before we get into this, I want to play for you all some of the early segments of the documentary that I'm going to put in because this is going to be more of a dialogue with you all. We did get some super chats in. I think I missed the first one, so I apologize for that. Thank you for sending that in. Divine 9X sent in a super chat, said healing. Thank you for that. And also Lowe sent in the super chat, says, my pops, you can't talk about what another man's doing unless you are 100%. Umar has the nerve. He's not even 25%. I agree with this. And when it comes to having a family and understanding the importance of fathers being present, for me, it's 100%. Am I perfect in terms of I have no more growth? No, it's a process. But I've been here from the beginning. My oldest son is now 16 years old. My youngest child is 8. I've given 100%, and I'm striving to do better now. Always have been. It's been a struggle. But I know one damn thing, I'm not going to tolerate anybody. I don't care if it's a black man or a black woman, because I've seen some people post comments. I'm not going to tolerate you suggesting that we need to get out here and murder these black boys. What kind of talk is this? The levels of dysfunction in the African-American community, the black community, is staggering to me. You let a white person talk like that, they're white supremacists. But a black person talk like that and we rah-rah? And see, I told y'all that this documentary is going to be continued because there's more information. And Umar, you have no business talking about what we need to be doing with children. No business at all. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put in the stream link for our guests, for those of y'all who would like to talk with me this evening. I'll put that in here now, inside the chat room. And then, but I want to play a section of the documentary. And again, the documentary I posted yesterday. Here's a screenshot for you all. We have 548 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's see, as of right now, let me go ahead and refresh this. Let's see, as of right now, there's 21,000 people who have seen the documentary, and looks like there's 2,100 likes and 101 dislikes. Let me just check something here. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, well, you know what? Let's see. We already got a caller in. I want to make sure we do this discussion. So let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and bring the caller on, and then I'll come back, and we can come back to this if necessary. But I just want to make sure that we do have a dialogue today, okay? Let me come on back over here. Here we go. Okay, so our first caller is Tyree. Yeah, Tyree, are you there?
Hey, Lennon, I'm here. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going? I'm doing good. Make sure you turn down your speakers.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Yeah, right now I'm having an issue with.
Yeah, okay. Tyree, try calling back in, but if you do call in, you have to turn your speakers down. Otherwise, it'll pick it up in your microphone, and then we'll hear it here. Okay? Okay, let's go back. I'll wait and see if he wants to call back in. Let me do this, and then let's head on over here. And you know what? I'm gonna have to do this a different way. You guys, give me 1 second here. Let me pull this up. Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, so I need to add this to the stream now. Okay. All right, and then I need to come back over here and do a screen share. Okay, yeah, you guys can see that now. Let me know if you guys can hear the audio. I'm going to play this. You should be hearing the piano in the background. If not, I'll turn my speakers on. Take a listen. Yeah, can you guys hear the music in the background playing? Okay, people are saying that you can't hear it. Okay. Yeah, I'll do it another way, no problem. Here we go. All right, here we go. Yeah, can you guys hear that now? Okay, good. All right. So this is the introduction, and I just kind of shared some of the, well, I guess this isn't commentary, but this is when Umar Johnson, he revealed his living conditions. But then later I talk about some of the promises that he made. He made a group of promises. And if I do a second part of this, it just depends on how Umar Johnson responds. If he acts a fool, then I'm dropping part 2. One of the things that I will deal with is the list of promises that Umar Johnson has made since February of 2019. There's over 200 of them, 200 promises that he did not keep. So I did outline that a bit. Also showed some video footage of the actual school, abandoned buildings. I don't call it a school because it's not a school. These are abandoned buildings. As you guys can see, really bad condition. And then also, I had to play this, and a lot of people were really struck by this. And the reason why is because they couldn't figure it out. And one of the things I was attempting to do is just to illustrate Umar Johnson tweaking, in essence. That's what it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but that is what it is. He's in this clip. He's actually talking. He's doing a live stream, and then he just fades out. You know, I'll play that for you all here.
Back-to-back bitches.
And he comes back. And then once he realizes it, he actually turns it off. It was real interesting. Also showed some of the cemetery activity of Umar Johnson, which is really, really bizarre. He spends a lot of time in cemeteries. And this is the infamous run them donations. And then I get into the meat of the documentary, which is really discussing Umar Johnson and his dangerous and hate-filled rhetoric, especially geared towards black boys, black girls, and black women. Okay, and again, this documentary premiered yesterday, March 14, 2020. I want to encourage everyone, if you haven't seen it, make sure you take the time to watch this. There's quite a few people that said they've watched it 2 and 3 times and they've been sharing it. Okay, we do have some calls. I want to make sure we make this interactive. Let's go to Drama. Drama, are you there?
I'm here, Leonard.
Hey, how's it going, man? How's everything?
Oh, everything is beautiful, sir. Just wanted to get on here and congratulate you on the job. Well done, sir.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. So I assume you got a chance to watch the documentary.
Watched it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What are some of your thoughts?
It was very well put together. I follow a lot of the stuff you do. I follow a lot of the stuff that Umar puts out. So the information wasn't new to me, but just the presentation was spot on, sir. Very
Okay.
spot on.
Was there anything that you saw that maybe you hadn't seen before?
Not really. For me, the King Kong consciousness. I've watched some of his old lectures, so a lot of that information wasn't necessarily new to me. May have been new to a lot of other people. That kind of rhetoric. He's been saying that stuff for years.
What are your thoughts on Umar Johnson's proposal that black men, we should go out here and murder 10% of black boys?
Completely foolish. I was on another platform last night debating a gentleman we're not going to name here at this time, but I work with juvenile offenders, and that 10% that Umar talks about, I work with them, and no matter how bad they do or how bad they are, what gives a person the right to say you're part of the 10% that needs to be erased for good?
Yeah. No.
It's just sad, but you have people out there that go along with his message of killing black boys. Thinks it's a rational decision.
No. Yep. Was there anything in the documentary that stood out to you?
Just his. You can always tell when Umar's having a bad day.
Yeah.
People that pay attention to Umar have seen clips of him. You can always tell when the donations are flowing in. Let's say that. When it dries up and it's a slow day, he's very agitated.
Yeah. And let me ask you one other question. I did bring up probably a little bit after the halfway mark of the documentary. I brought up the financial part of this. Umar Johnson said he had collected $750,000. It's getting close to 2 years. He hasn't updated that figure. The property sold online. Records show that it sold for $400,000. What are your thoughts in terms of the financial mismanagement?
Not surprised. Just the fact that he continuously tells this is for the donors, and donors have access to the information, but he doesn't give any information. He gives what he wants to give, and for the most part, they're okay with that, which is crazy to me. Very crazy. I think the man has blown the money. I'm a patient man. I believe when July rolls around and the new taxes roll out, it's going to be it's your fault. It's Sungali's fault. It's the haters have worked together with the city of Wilmington to sabotage us, brothers and sisters, and it's going to be a lot of that come July, August. So
you know it's coming.
Yeah, I know it's coming. And his supporters know it's coming. That's why a lot of them have kind of backed away from it. Support from a distance is what they're doing now.
Yeah. No. Well, thank you for calling in, Drama. The donator, is there anything else you wanted to share?
Nothing, man. Just keep doing what you're doing, man. I know you be looking at my comments on some of his posts, man. I put in the work that you don't have to. So.
Well, I appreciate it, bro. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, no problem, man.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Dr. Kelly's in the house. Dr. Kelly, are you there? Dr. J. Kelly.
Yeah, what's good, Lennon?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing good, bro. I had to put that video of the school situation up there. I was looking up there.
Oh, my God. I sent you a gift. I was driving by there today, right?
Okay.
So I'm driving by, and I drive by like every day. So I drive by today, and I seen his rock was, what's the word? Somebody's gotten to it.
Oh, man, what happened?
Go look in your email.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Let me get up in here real quick. Go ahead.
Go look in your email.
Someone already done shitted on the steps. What we got next? Let's go take a look here.
Let's see what happened to the rock.
Oh, yeah, I just saw it, bro. Let me, you mind if I share it?
Oh, share it away.
Damn, bro.
Share it away.
Okay, well, let's hear it, people. Let's go ahead. Let me pull this over.
Just wait. Matter of fact, before you do it,
Okay.
This is the only construction that's been done in the building.
So it's confirmed we got some renovations going
We
on,
got
people.
some renovations. We got some renovations.
Okay, here I'm gonna bring this on for people to see. This is an exclusive here.
I
Here we
sent you a gift.
let me see if I can get this in here. Here we go, right here, people. Damn, that's a damn shame. Wow.
I did a video. I recorded it too, but I was laughing so hard.
Man, this is
Oh
wild.
man.
Wow, bro. So this was from today.
Yeah, I swear that was from. I swear that was from today.
Oh man.
I swear to God, I did a video. I recorded too, but that's the only renovation that exists.
All right, so people, we do have some progress going on up
You
at the
have some
back. Damn, bro. Right on. Okay, well, did you get? Yeah, you did get a chance to see the documentary.
Oh, the documentary was like it was art. It was art. It was so professional. There's nothing that it was no emotion. It was like it was all you can tell it's all fact, it's all logic, it's common sense. There's no emotion in that documentary. It's just all real. It's what's really going on. And it's like you said, it's all out his mouth, and like he this man is at graveyard so much. He said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna dig my own."
His
Use my
words.
language, man.
No, it's all good. It's all good, bro. I'm not tripping at all. What stood out to you about the documentary? Let me ask you this: was there anything that you saw in the documentary you hadn't seen before?
Yeah, that his late nights in front of the computer with the ladies. I never seen that.
Yeah.
I seen it last week when you showed it.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, what is that tick in his lip? That's his real. That's that demon. It's that demon in him coming out. That you see when his lip be jumping.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, he
Oh,
also
man.
I've seen this because I look a lot at body language, and he does also have this involuntary snarl that he does, where if I've seen it so many times, he start going like this, and I don't know what it is.
It's discomfort.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, when he's uncomfortable.
Discomfort.
Yeah.
When he's uncomfortable, he can't control anything.
Yeah.
When he's not in control,
Mm-hmm.
you can see that he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No,
that
this is true.
documentary, man, the shockumentary, the documentary, oh man, it was awesome. It honestly, if I was you, I'd submit it to a film festival. You put enough work into it, and it's so professional and well done that I would submit it.
Well, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. One other question I want to ask you in the documentary itself. I did also take some time to talk about Umar Johnson and how he talks about black boys and how he talks about black girls. Was there anything there that you thought was, well, let me be more specific. When he talked about young black girls who have been raped and molested, and he said that they have thoughtish personality disorder. What are your thoughts on that?
I just feel like coming from a psychologist, the lack it's I can't even say the lack of empathy, because that's his form of empathy.
Yeah.
That's the sad part.
Yep.
That's his form of empathy. Talking like trying to describe it that way, but I just feel like it's sad because he's supposed to be a psychologist and these kids are supposed to be his focus. Why would he? How could you define a victim? Now, how could you narrow a victim down to just frivolous sexually?
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It's like, it's sad because that's not what happens. Because I'm not even a psychologist, and I know once a woman is victimized in that way, they fall back. They don't feel comfortable being open with people after that. They're not frivolous out there like the way he put it.
Yeah, that's
That's
real talk.
just the people he's dealt with. But most victims, they shut down. They don't go out there and go crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That just seemed like that was like really far-fetched, because we all know victims, though, they like majority, they shut down. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to be looked at. They're not out there like that, like he put it.
Yeah, and then when he starts talking about, they're out here and he gets really explicit about what they're doing, I found that to be, I put it in there 3 times because people need to hear what he's saying. He's saying multiple hand jobs and multiple orgies and all this kind of talk.
It's about children.
Yeah. It's wild, man.
How could you even put your mind, how could you visibly go, how could you mentally go there to even, I couldn't even put myself in a child's, I don't know, man.
Look, I think it's very concerning, to be honest with you.
Very concerning. I just seen he seems like it's like a predator to me.
No.
Like there's some kind of predator in him trying to jump out.
No. And people in the chat room, people in the chat room are agreeing with you on that. Yeah, go ahead.
He's just dangerous in every aspect of our community, our children, our single women, our mentally unstable. He's just dangerous.
No. All right, bro. And before I get you off,
I'll let you go.
Okay, thanks. And here's the picture that you took today. Was this today? Was this today or yesterday?
That was this afternoon, around maybe. Hold on, I'll tell you the time. No, it's gonna.
My man getting the exact time.
It was around 3. It was around 3 this afternoon.
Okay.
No, about 4 or 5.
Okay, so this is that rock there, and someone has defaced the rock, and it's going to be interesting. I wonder if Umar is going to go up there and paint over this, but he doesn't have a history of actually doing anything up at the school.
He never painted it in the first place.
No, this is true.
Like that.
This is true. Well, thank you so much for calling in, bro. I appreciate it, and thanks for sending me the gift.
Thank you. You deserve it. Thank you so much. I was gonna save and do a video, but I said, yo, this man earned it. I wish I could give you everything.
Oh, I appreciate it, bro. But you still do that video on it. I'll make sure I check it out and I will promote it.
I will. Thank you so much for all your love and support you give me all the time.
Oh, you're welcome, bro.
Really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling in, bro. All right, that's DJ Dr. Jay Kelly. Thanks for calling in. The phone lines look like, or the phone lines, the video lines are lit, as they say. Let's go to the next caller. This is King Kong Crazy. King Kong Crazy, are you there? Okay, I don't see King Kong Crazy. Okay, we'll come back, or King Kong, try calling back in. Let's go to Tyree. Tyree, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How's it going?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, did you get a chance to see the documentary?
Oh, yes, I did. I want to say it was absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
The way how you put it together, it was, I don't know what to say. I just look at it and it was excellent. You know what I mean?
Well, I appreciate it. Was there anything in the documentary that stood out to you?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
I said, was there anything in the documentary that stood out to you?
Stood out to me is the way how he's the man, such as we got a lot more than $250,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's very ungrateful. But when he can't communicate things this way, it's very upset. It's like we owe him something, but we don't owe him shit.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, you're breaking up, Tyree. Looks like it. Yeah, you're breaking up. So try calling back in later. I'll go ahead and it may reset. You may get a better connection next time. Let's go to King Kong Crazy. King Kong Crazy, are you there? King Kong Crazy going once. King Kong Crazy going twice. King Kong Crazy going a third time. Okay. Let's go to Mark. Mark, are you there?
Yes, sir. Brother. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How's it going?
Going well, man. Just enjoyed the documentary. Thought you did a fabulous job with it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. What would you say stood out to you? Anything stand out to you?
Been kind of following this for a while now. And I think that what's going to stand out to the people that are new to learning about Umar Johnson, those are going to be the ones that probably get the most documentary, because they're going to come in and have no idea about this guy. And they're going to have road cash in their pocket. And I think you did a great job of being very objective about the situation. The content was thorough, from the video editing to the piano in the background. It was just top notch, man. It was truly top notch. I know the time and dedication it takes. I do some video editing on the side. I'm learning about it, and I know it took a lot of time and effort to get that done. And I think that the ones that are new to figuring out about Umar Johnson, they will certainly have their eyes open in a way that only the ones that have been in the game for a while, that knows that he's a fraud, can be like, okay, now you see it. This is what we've been seeing all along. Now you get a chance to see it, and you get a chance to see it for yourself without any subjectivity. This is all objective content. So I think that's the part that hit home for me, Lennon.
Yeah, and I tried my best. Let me also be honest with people. Listen, I had planned on discontinuing my coverage of Umar Johnson, but he made a serious mistake, and he's made a lot of them. But when he started to threaten me, at that point, there was no way that I could just back down. First of all, that's just not how my life experience has not been about that. It's always been about, you have to have courage no matter what. And it wasn't until he made those threats of physical violence that I said, okay, you want to be a e-thug, fine. What I'm going to do is I'll do a documentary on you. So it comes out of a response to the physical threats, but my approach to actually doing the documentary, I tried to be as subjective as possible, because basically what I did was I made commentary to set up his words. Those weren't my words, those were his words. And so throughout the documentary, I was consistent with that. And I did have some commentary towards the end as like a conclusion, like a statement there. But other than that, it was all Umar.
Absolutely. 100%. And let me say, I did want to also add, some of the comments that Umar Johnson makes from a medication standpoint. I'm a pharmacist by trade. And a lot of the comments that he makes concerning, individuals like not being on any medication, a lot of it is very outlandish, man. It's to the point where, and that's really the part that caught my attention about getting well versed into this gentleman. I've seen him speak one time. I'm here in Alabama, and he came to an event, and it's just like everything else. A guy that speaks well, but just because you speak well and have a good vernacular, if you will, it doesn't mean you have a good message. And the things that he was talking was very homophobic. It was just like, I actually got up and left, man, because like, this is not what I want our future to look like. And I don't want to be a part of this. And then when he started talking about kids shouldn't be on any kind of medication, well, hey, I mean, you can have your opinion, but this is 2020, man, and we've made tons of advancements in the field of medicine, and part of that is medication therapy. So you can't just sit here and make a blanket statement like, I want to take everyone off all medications. That's just irresponsible. And
it's dangerous too.
Absolutely, it's dangerous. And you can't be a professional and say, I'm against all medications. I mean, and then some of the statements he's saying about like how the Ritalin is the same thing as crack, complete nonsense. And it just, it's unsettling, man, because, you see a guy that has a platform and he has ruined it, and he's ruined it for the culture, so to speak. And, for those like yourself and all the other people that kind of go at this gentleman so righteously as you guys do, it's a silver lining, because it gives me hope to be like, okay, there are people out here that recognize this guy and what he's doing. Very irresponsible, very unprofessional, and for you to put that together, and in a very concise, hour and 4 minutes, straight to the point, so that the new wave of listeners and the new wave of individuals that are going to be introduced to this guy can see, okay, this is what he's about, not what he's saying when he gets a microphone in his hand, because you know how that goes.
Yeah.
But the documentary showed, okay, this is what this guy is really about. Don't listen, don't believe the hype. Don't buy into the hype. So that's the part that caught my eye the most, man. And again, I've been following you for a little bit now. Just subscribed recently, so definitely keep up the good work, man. And 100%, I think it's going to open the eyes of a lot of people, Lennon. I really do believe that, man.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling in, Mark.
All the time, brother. Have a good one.
Yeah, peace, bro. Yep. All right, let's go to King Kong Crazy. I think they're King Kong.
Yes, brothers and Lennon honor.
Here we go.
It's King Kong consciousness.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. What a beautiful documentary.
Okay.
About me. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fine.
Yes.
I see you have on your dashiki this evening.
Yes, it's a special occasion.
Okay.
It's very special. Mm-hmm. Yes, the ancestors have blessed me. The ancestors have blessed me, brothers and sisters. Yes, I'm in my true form right now. Do you love my beard?
It's looking really, really scrumptious, I have to say.
It's very lavish. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Was there anything that stood out for you for the documentary? Anything that stand out for you?
Yes. Even though I have this mask on, I know Umar Johnson. I met him. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay.
I met him back in 2013, 2014. He came to Fisk University. He said that he wanted to start FDMG. I started the role for collecting emails so that we can get on the email list. I never donated, but I did purchase the books. I did purchase Hidden Colors. I did email him. I called him. And just like everybody else, my calls went unanswered. He just wanted me to donate. That was it. His daddy was down here just recently because we had tornadoes down here in Nashville. His daddy came down and helped. He helped all day, but I don't know if there was a publicity stunt or not. But yes.
Okay, come on, give it to us. Go ahead.
I'm here now.
Okay.
And I ain't going nowhere. King Kong consciousness.
Fine. Okay, thank you for calling in, King Kong Crazy. I do appreciate it. All right, take care. Where you go, bro?
Yes.
Okay, all right, fine. Thank you. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, wow. But he did say that he was helped collect donations back in the day, 2014. Okay. Oh, man. Okay, how do we follow up from that? Tyree, I know you've been holding on. Let's see if we can get you on. Tyree, you there? Tyree. Okay, I'm not hearing you. My goodness, Tyree, we have problems today, bro. Okay, let's go to, I'm trying to go in order. There's so many people in here. We Are One, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Did you get a chance to watch the documentary?
Yes, I did. Just today.
Okay, what are your thoughts?
At first, I haven't actually, first first off, I haven't actually been keeping up with Dr. Umar Johnson. The first time I ever heard of him and did follow him, I thought his vision was very interesting, like many people. But hearing all this stuff about him lately, honestly, I thought maybe someone was just trying to come after him for no reason. Like, this happened plenty times in our history with our people. Someone tried to do something good and people tear him down. But I was really shocked to hear a lot of the things that came out of his own mouth. Woman who was molested and raped so down a bad path. I don't know. I was just shocked that he didn't understand for a psychologist how to even speak of and how to address the women who have been through those things. So that was the turning point for me in the video, honestly.
Yeah, and he has said things about girls who have been raped and molested. He's also said things about women who have been date raped.
Right, as if it's their fault. And I'm kind of in line thoughts with him in some scenarios, because I do think there are some truths that our people are afraid to recognize and be blunt about, but it's just a way to handle it. So I do appreciate your video. It brought a lot of things out, because I was just talking to my husband about Umar Johnson and how his idea was good and wanting to check up on him. And that's how, how our phones popped up on my feed, coincidentally. But yeah, I just want to give you props for your video. And that was the only piece of the video that spoke to me besides the other crazy things. That was more personal.
It sounds like you've been a supporter of Umar Johnson. Do you still consider yourself to be a supporter?
No, not now. I haven't been following him, and this is like the only update after a couple years that I've had of him. It was in a time where I was thinking of, Black support and how to grow the Black community, and he was really the only one that I found. But it seems like he's really going through something that I don't understand, but I see a lot of pain in him.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, thank you for calling in. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's go to Mr. Blacktastic, then we'll go to Alquan, and then we'll go to Tyree. Mr. Blacktastic, are you there?
Hey, what's going on, Brother Lennon? I'm finally glad I got a chance to meet you, brother, and talk to you.
Oh, my pleasure. How are you today?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm just disappointed, man, that y'all didn't click your heels together 3 times according to the instructions to bring the FDMG Imaginarium into reality, man.
Well, I do have my RGB fairy dust. I need to take out my RGB fairy dust and sprinkle it. We'll see what we can get popping off, okay?
It's 3 sprinkles and a half, brother.
There you go. That's right. That's right. Yeah, did you get a chance to check out the documentary?
Man, I watched it twice. And I'm going to be honest, man, you did such an excellent job.
Oh, thank you.
There was a point where I actually got sad for Umar.
Yeah.
Because in those clips of him just staring off into the camera, not saying anything, it just really showed the pitiful state that he's allowed himself to fall to. I mean, man, at one point, I thought I heard Michael Jackson singing that old song "Ben" in the background. I was like, man, this is terrible.
Ben, the two of us, no more. Okay.
It was really bad, man. And I deal with ministers on the religious side a lot in terms of exposing cult-like figures and those who abuse people, in different churches and things of this sort. And to be honest with you, man, between religion and the whole idea of Black consciousness, there's really no dividing line in terms of certain personalities and behaviors in leaders. I mean, it's a smooth transition from one to the other if you understand how to play people and use their emotions against them in order to, gather a following to yourself. And basically, what I'm seeing from whether it's in the religious arena or whether it's in the arena of Black consciousness, it's the same behavior.
Yeah.
From narcissistic leaders and people who are really, how should I say, they kind of really they worship themselves.
Yeah.
And so it's like the Greek character Narcissus. They're in love with themselves, and so they are the biggest promoters of themselves. And throughout Umar's entire time of being on the stage, so to speak, in front of other people, he hasn't promoted anyone more than he has himself.
Yeah, that's
He's
a good
only
point.
used other people, like Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and different ones to, elevate his name by trying to associate them with himself.
Yep.
And that's what he's done. And so, I mean, anybody that constantly has to name themselves, create action figures and things like this, man, they got a serious problem.
Yep.
And he's a case of a psychologist who needs a psychologist. I mean,
Yeah.
and that's a sad state.
Yeah.
And so I would never trust him with any children ever at all, because a man who doesn't take care of his own children is someone that I just could never find myself being able to respect. And I think
agree.
you've done an excellent job, by exposing this behavior. And another thing I just want to say before I get off is, man, you've done an excellent job too, though, by addressing a lot of things in our community and setting an example yourself, as a responsible Black man, Black father, and Black husband. And I've been watching your stuff for years, and I got a lot of my friends now subscribed, and man, I just say, let me see what Lennon talking about. And sometimes I say amen, and sometimes I say ouch. But I mean, like, but the truth is the truth, man. And so, I go with what the truth is. And sometimes if it get me, I just have to, line up to it, man. And I hope that in some measure, because I do love people. I don't hate Umar, but I hate what he's doing to our people and to himself. I hope that he comes to that realization that, he needs to get some help, because that brother is way out there, but you can't be threatening people either.
Yep.
And when you got gangster, I was like, Lennon, I don't know, we got to change your name, man, to Shaky or something, man.
I'm not the one. I don't take. I'm just got to be real. I don't take kindly to threats from anybody. And the way that I was raised, I grew up in an environment where we lived in perpetual fear, and in particular of my father. And at that time, I didn't have any way to defend myself, or defend my mother or my siblings. But now, as a grown man, I can handle myself. So at this point, the level of courage that I have, if Umar had not made the physical threats, then this documentary would not have been made. So in essence, it's really, he's the one. It's inspired by him being threatened. And I'm not the type of person that's going to back down either. I have no choice. My wife even said, she says, no, you need to get it back up on there and you need to talk about this. I said, okay, well, what I'll do is I'll do a documentary. And that's exactly what I did.
Hey, man, you did the right thing, man. Like I said, we got to give you a nickname or something. I was like, I don't know what we're going to call him. We're going to call him, Shaky L. He's shaking him down. I don't know what we're going to call him. Earthquake Honor. I don't know. I mean, Bam Bam or something.
Bam Bam Bigelow. No, I'm just playing.
Heat him up honor. I don't know. But brother, you stood tall. You stood strong, man. And, in doing what you did, though, you also stood for a whole group of Black men that you didn't even realize, man. One thing I just want to say, my parting words is, Lennon, your words will go further than you will ever know, and they will reach people that you will never see or meet, and they will have an impact on lives, man, that you didn't even realize you touched. So continue to do what you're doing, man. God bless and much love to you and your family.
Oh, blessings to you, bro. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right.
All right. I appreciate the kind words, too. Yeah, I was thinking, maybe we'll come up with some, I don't know, lean or consciousness or some shit like that. We got to figure something out. We got to figure something out. Okay, let's go to Alquan. Alquan, are you there?
Hey, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's happening, bro?
Long time, first time, as they say on radio.
oh, it's all good. I've been checking you out for a couple of years now. How's everything?
Thanks. I just got to, fight a couple of COO ends trying to take down channels, but it's all good. Other than that,
yeah. Did you get a chance to check out the documentary?
The funny part is I saw it exactly right before you went on the air. CP time, of course, you know.
Okay.
and I have to say, I was expecting the typical YouTube cut and paste, copy and paste type of thing. But then when I saw it, I said, oh, it's smooth, it's clean, and the narration is absolutely perfect. I said, man, instead of trying to go to school for computers, man, you better get into broadcasting, man.
I appreciate that. You know?
I mean, because I have to say, I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, it was absolutely perfect. I could find no flaw. You know?
I appreciate that.
And you know, so you definitely get a 5 thumbs up. You know, obviously we don't have 5 thumbs, but you know what I mean. And I have to say, with the Umar Johnson thing, the scene that you know, the for good, all that kind of stuff, that was wacky, obviously, and the part where he said, "Let me go turn the heat down."
I don't know what kind of heat he was turning there. He was trying to turn up. I don't know what that was.
I'm like, I was trying to analyze that one over and over again. Okay, trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I'm like, that. I mean, there's no getting around.
Yep. It was an inhale. It was not an exhale, people. And he had some relief after it too. If you listen carefully, he was like. The other thing, I don't know if people notice, because I don't know, you know, what people, because listen, people, I grew up in a household where drugs and alcohol abuse and at a certain point, crack, okay? There was other substances, cocaine included, there's other substances too, heroin. But the thing that I thought about was when Umar comes back into the shot, he's going like this right up here. Would you guys notice that?
I noticed his nose was twitching before he went.
Well, but the thing, what I would think that he did was he did a line, but then he probably dipped that pinky in there and then put someone in like that. Then he came back. That's why when he came back, he's like, "You guys go and look." Now I didn't make reference to it because in the documentary, my job wasn't to make reference to like what people were seeing. I would just set it up, let it play out, or I'll let it play out, and then I would explain.
Right, that's the way to do it. That's the way it was done. And also, you had a T-shirt on too. So I mean, must have been warm already.
I know. No, I didn't think about that.
So I mean, you did a fabulous job. I like the way you guys are keeping the pressure on this guy. Now his career. Maybe I'm thinking maybe he went to college. Maybe his career didn't go well. It got messed up or something, and then he tried to reinvent himself, and now he's way out of control.
Yeah.
Now I think I know keyboard musician is keeping the pressure on the Tariq Nasheed, but that Tariq Nasheed, that's a slick guy right there, man. He's a harder one to bring down, man.
Well, one of the major differences is that Tariq, he does produce something, you know,
right.
And that's one thing, you know, whether people agree with his rhetoric, I don't necessarily agree with a lot of what he says, but that he does produce in the end. Umar Johnson hasn't produced anything.
Right. Except that cockamamie school.
Well, those are just abandoned building trap houses. And if you guys think about it, he didn't produce that. That's people's money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He hasn't done anything.
Now, I always said this because I think I said this in one of my videos. I said he should at least, if he was serious, put the sign up on the school.
Yeah.
Do a paint job at least. Open up the front lobby and make it a FDMG future, whatever it is, fiesta with a bookstore and all that kind of stuff. If he was even trying to make money with vending machines, you can bring the money that way. If he was serious,
I agree.
Other than that, he's gonna waste his money, waste everybody's time. But maybe he's just trying to get free money, like you say, and that's that.
Yeah.
So with that, I'm gonna let you go to the next one and keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much, bro. Thanks for calling in too. I appreciate it.
All right.
Okay, these lines, I mean, we have so many people. Some of you are probably calling in and can't get through because there's a limit on how many people we can have on at one time. Let's go to Stacy. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go to Stacy. Stacy, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you doing?
I'm great. I was surprised I'm even getting on here this quick.
Oh, no, it's all good. I appreciate you calling in.
I just wanted to say, just first off, thank you so much for all your hard work and investigative, objective reporting. I started following him seriously about a couple of years ago, just really kind of in search for help for my own child. He's school age. And I think I never actually donated, but I was he had I was really in support of his ideas and everything, but I started getting tipped off to him when he started badgering callers when he would have some of his live teaching calls, particularly the one with the grandmother and the with the daughter that had the
Yeah.
5 kids.
Yeah.
I was actually listening on that call. And so from there, I was just like, okay, you know, this, he was being abusive. And I really agree with, um, you know, some of the comments that were made as far as him being just really negligent in his professionalism, quote unquote, as well as, you know, I see, I'm also a nurse, so, you know, I um, can kind of see that he's got some mental issues. I mean,
Yep.
well, ain't no some,
Yeah.
definitely delusions of grandeur, narcissism. But I did feel very, you know, I still have compassion for him when that clip where he just kind of zoned off, like he just really looked defeated and like broken.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't understand why he's not been, you know, arrested for fraud. I just don't get it. I mean, there's plenty of evidence out there that's, you know, shows that he's, I mean, especially from PayPal and all of these other big companies. I mean, what is the deal with that?
Yeah. You know, the thing is this, I do know that at some point, you know, that's why, like, towards the end of the documentary, I said that the walls of justice are closing in on Umar Johnson, and that ultimately that may be the means through which he is able to get the intervention that he needs. And I'm referring to intervention in terms of his psychological state, but then also in terms of his substance abuse issues. Yeah. So, and that's the other thing I just want to point out, not to get off of what you were saying, because you do bring up a good point. I think inevitably it's going to happen. I would hope that it happens, because the alternative would be much more stressful, and it would be much more dire. But one of the things that I attempted to, because my wife, she had commented on this at a certain point. She says, you know what, I feel sorry for him. And this is my wife. You know, she's seen everything, all of the threats of physical violence towards me, but that's also a threat towards my family too. But even beyond that, you know, my wife being the type of person that she is, she says, you know, I actually feel sorry for him. And I said, well, you know, baby, the reason why I put the documentary together the way that I did is because I wanted people to not just see him as a villain. Okay, I said I wanted people to also see him as a shattered human being. In other words, and I referenced, I said, you know how sometimes in movies or in television shows, as an example, Game of Thrones, there'll be a character that at first they may appear to be like positive, but then over the course of 4 seasons, now they're a real negative character and people begin to hate them. But then towards the end of the series, that person kind of reclaims their humanity. Now they were more positive, and then people love them again. Well, that's kind of like how I was trying I started off with the soft, sad music, and I showed him in that state. But then also towards the end, and then, I go in, right, using his own words. And then towards the end, I wanted to leave it so that people can have some sympathy for him, that they can kind of feel something for him. And that's why I played the music again. And then at the very end, you see him walking by himself. Well, that was that was intentional. Again, I want people to understand. It's not that I want any harm to come to him. If anything, I would hope that some sort of intervention comes, because the alternative will be much more dire.
Yeah, I think you did an awesome job. I love that you let him use his own words to kind of seal the nail in the coffin. But there were some comments yesterday underneath the video where someone just kind of like, I mean, there's still people that are still making excuses for him. Yeah. Like, I mean, cognitive dissonance is a big thing. And I just don't really see how people can just not see I mean, you did an excellent job. I think I agree with whoever else said that you should put it in a film festival. I mean, your hard work just really, really showed, and I just appreciate you. And I also appreciate you being a father and a husband, and you doing you're a man's man, and I just appreciate that. And I hope people can glean a lot of wisdom and from that. So just thank you from the bottom of my heart.
No, I appreciate that, Stacey. Thanks for the words of encouragement, and I appreciate you calling in this evening.
Thank you.
Okay, take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, the lines are on Fire. In fuego, as they say. We're good. So let me just, there's so many people on. We got Black Divine coming up next, GK, then we got Mateo, then we got Tyree, then we got Jacumba, and then we got Larry, and then we got Sister Stargate. So if y'all can hold on, I don't know how long y'all can hold on, but hold on. Hold your phone. Let's go to Black Divine. Black Divine, are you there?
I'm here. I just unmuted my phone. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you doing this evening?
I'm blessed, bro. You know, just doing those mommy and household duties like last time I called in. They don't stop, right?
They don't stop. They don't stop.
We
That's
don't
right.
get a break.
Did you get a chance to see the documentary?
I did. I watched it earlier today, and low key, I've been just keeping my eyes to the YouTube, waiting on this documentary to drop. I say, good grief, I'm really waiting on this documentary. But yeah, I've had my ears. So I was so happy to see it when you dropped it. I couldn't watch it right away because I was out of town with family. But as soon as I got a moment, because I wanted to kind of, be able to digest it by myself and really be able to listen to it and, not be distracted by a bunch of other things. So I had a moment to myself earlier today, child free, and I watched the documentary.
Yeah,
Yes.
what are your thoughts? Anything stand out?
I think what stood out to me was the new information that you introduced, which was the some of the contractors, some of the professional support that had reached out to him and were pretty much just pretty much led on, and their time wasted. I mean, my goodness, anybody, because I have a business, and I'm on my second location now.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. And, build outs and getting those types of just my thought process with picking a location. I had projections for 5 years. I needed to, I mean, when you have real overhead and real responsibilities and real family that you have to take care of and you're not begging for money, there's no way you would ever enter into any type of contract without a way to fulfill it. And so I had a lot of anxiety behind my first location because I'm like, okay, this is real overhead every single month. It doesn't stop.
That's right.
And all my family obligations, I knew down to the dollar, down to the nickel, how many clients do I need to bring in each month in order for me to handle this? So for someone to enter into this $400,000, investment and not have any clue about the foundation, the roof, it's over a year later, and you're just now attempting, or at least you're saying you want to get some estimates because you don't know how much the HVAC costs. You don't know how much. And then, something that a lot of people missed was someone asked him about carpet, and he said, I need to talk to carpentry. Sir, carpentry has to do with framing and woodwork.
I remember that.
To do with flooring, you idiot.
Yeah.
So I was like, this guy really doesn't have any clue what he's talking about because carpentry has to do with woodwork. So I knew he had no clue. He hadn't talked to anybody. He has no projections. He doesn't know how many students it takes to sustain this project. He doesn't know about anything. And even if for him to try to open up a business, he's already violated EEOC rules, the equal opportunity, by saying, I'm not going to hire gay people. I'm not going to hire women who wear hair weave. I'm not going to hire Black men who are betas. It's like, dude, do you know that those federal lawsuits against discrimination for employment is a real thing? You've never paid liability insurance. You've never paid payroll. You don't have anybody that's families depending on you to provide a subsistence for them. So you don't know that kind of pressure. That's very stressful as a business owner to know that your business is providing for someone's livelihood, and he doesn't know about those kinds of challenges because he doesn't really have a real business. He doesn't have a real organization. This is all just a figment of his imagination.
Yep.
And so any of us who actually have businesses who do these numbers, and it's like not make a change. Who was it? The brother Eli.
Mm-hmm.
Eli dug up the old business plan from the last company. He could have just pasted his name on that and used that as a template to start.
Yeah.
He could have just used that as a tip. Okay, so this is more or less what it's going to cost. I don't know, was it $2-3 million a year or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
He could have just used that as a template to start. But anyway, I like the documentary. I like the information that you brought in. One thing that I have to say that I like it is what I admire about you is that, Umar said he's been working on his shockumentary for like 2-3 years. I don't know how many years.
He said it was going to premiere back in 2016.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I can pull it up if you guys want me to. Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm off. I thought it was like 2-3 years. So we're talking over 4 years. And you said, you know what? I'm going to do a documentary. And you were a couple days late, but we're going to give you all the compassion and leeway that you need for that.
I appreciate it.
Children.
That's right.
But within a very short time, you turned around a product. You said you was going to do it. You worked on it. You updated us along the way. It's the product. I mean, that's something that I really admire. Perfectionist. I have to overthink things. It got to be this and that. And just, I admire people who can produce works and just get it out there, in the state that it's in, because you can't impact anybody with an idea in your mind. You got to give them, some type of product. So that's what
tangible.
I appreciate.
It has to be tangible. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And before you go off, let me pull this up for you, and I'll do a screen share. And I want you to take a look at this before we get to the next caller. And the lines are all full, but we're going to get to the next caller in just a moment. I want to show you something here, Black Divine. Let me pull this up. Here it is right here. And I'll do the screen share. So this was posted, Dr. Umar Johnson on his Twitter. This is the Shockumentary is coming. And this was from 2014. It says, Race First Films in association with Prince of Pan-Africanism Publishing Psychoacademic War Against Black Boys, a shockumentary coming to a theater near you, fall 2014.
Wow.
I hear that.
So that probably, yes. So that probably was in the works in like 2012, 2013, if he said he was going to release it in 2014.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. But that's no different than, Umar saying that the grand opening for the school was not September 11, 2013. He made that comment. He made that post in 2010.
Wow.
Yeah,
so, you said you was going to do your documentary and you did it. So that's
and I don't even know how long it took. I think I first mentioned it maybe 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago.
It was within a month.
Yeah,
this whole project has been within a month.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Said you was going to do it. You worked on it. You updated us along the way, and it's out.
Yeah. And
being shared and consumed by many, many people. So that is, I'm going to take it as some inspiration. Things I need to get out there into the world myself. I'm going to take, hey, if Lennon can do his thing in a month, you ain't got no excuse.
Well, I appreciate that, sister. Get it done. Ain't no excuses. Right on. Thanks so much for calling in, Black Divine. I appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, bro. Peace.
Okay. Take it. Peace now. Okay. Before we get to the next, we did get some super chats in. A key sent in the super chat says, Lennon, you have, let's see, you may have 1,000 people watching. I think we got 800. It says 868. Let's see. At any given time, what if all of us prayed for this man? Well, I would encourage it. I don't consider myself to be a religious person. I don't consider myself to be that at all. But I could have approached this. I'm telling you, there's so much more information I have on Umar Johnson that I could have released, and it would have been really, really harsh. And I could have got up there and I could have presented it in a very negative and disparaging way, but I didn't want to do that. And part of it is because I have compassion for him. I mean, he's issued. See, the thing is that the physical threats, the threats of physical violence against me. I have 5 children and a wife. I have a dog, a cat, and 3 turtles. It's not just against me. But even understanding that I have to approach this with a level of maturity and with a level of compassion. First of all, I can handle mine. That's not the issue for me. The issue for me is that despite him doing that, I still had compassion for him. And that is to say that if people want to pray for him, that's fine. I would encourage it. I would encourage it. But you know, at the end of the day, we are going to be held accountable while we are on the planet or when we're off of it. Either way, we will be held accountable. That's life. That's how this works. Karma is undefeated. All right. But if anybody wants you, I would encourage it. There's no reason why I would not say I don't want any harm to come to him. Not one amount of harm. Now, he talking about he gonna run up. Okay, please. All right. Also, we got a super chat from B Buccaneer. Thank you so much. That was another one and I missed it because it just updated. I apologize, people. I've been listening to the callers and I want to give them my full attention. Let's go to the next caller. We'll go to GK. GK, are you there?
Yo, what's good, Len? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you? I sure can. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm disappointed in your documentary, man.
Okay.
Why didn't you have my damn favorite song, man? What is wrong with you, bro?
Well, which one is it?
Stop the lies.
Oh, I know.
Yo, bro, this is how much of a you're a fool. You know that, right?
Okay.
I heard that song the first time, right?
Uh-huh.
I was like, yo, this guy, all right, whatever. It's a funny song, it's good. The next morning,
you were singing.
I'm singing this.
That's right.
Song. I said, you know what, man? I gotta support this dude, man, because it's so melodic, but it's so. But you know, look, man, I watched the documentary. Honest to God, great documentary.
Thank you.
I will tell you this: nothing surprised me. My mom is a social worker, and I have my former. I used to go to this. It was a part of the ABC program, but it's basically a public school / private school kind of program where we live in a house with a bunch of directors, and those directors, John and Monisha Gibson, they went on to open up a school called the Odyssey Preschool in Norwalk, Connecticut. So I know at least some of the skeletal kind of makeup of like how you're supposed to build a school, funding and all that stuff, right? And I'm a naturally cynical person, but when I heard this years ago, that Dr. Umar was denying accountants, business developers, people, graphic designers, people that really want to help him out. And I said, you know what? This dude's a scammer, because just knowing John and Monisha Gibson, my former house directors, how much they were yearning for funding, support, and the way they got it. I mean, when you think about when you run a proper business and you market it correctly and you network with the right people, funding on a certain level is not necessarily hard. Now, it takes hard work to get there, but it's not impossible. And when I saw what this guy was doing, I said, Lord Jesus, he's robbing these people.
Yeah, he is.
He's become a demagogue. And not in the sense of like a Hitler or Stalin, but a demagogue in the sense that he's appealing to people's insecurities. He's also appealing to Black people's worries, right?
Yep.
They call him the Hotep hustlers or whatever, right? And I'm not going to get into all that, but the fact that he's appealing to, hey, we want a school for our Black children. We want to build something Black that's our own. And there are people that are willing to donate and give time, energy. And he's appealing to that, that I don't want to say insecurity, but that yearning. And it's discussing that this is how short-sighted he is, that even if he wanted to get rich from this, he could have built out the proper school, built out the proper infrastructure. You get the sponsorship money if it's successful. Then you get people just giving you hands over fists of money. Not saying that you would have gotten rich over 5-10 years, but after a while, you could have written books that would have gotten you money. You could have done things on your own that would have gotten you money. And the part where I say to my mother with the social work, this is what he does. He speaks in half truths, right? So there are things like when he talks about the so-called thottish behavior, whatever. It's not that little girls become thots. Is that the sexual mind frame, whatever, becomes corrupted once they get molested, right? But you don't go up to a young girl and say, you're working in, you got thottish behavior, blah, blah. You never talk to them that way because, one, they're going to get more defensive and they're just going to embolden themselves in whatever that so-called sexual corruption, whatever. Yes, when there are people that they get molested, there's certain people that they associate sex with this and that, and so they may sleep with more men. But it's not something you call thottish behavior. My mother was talking about, there are people in Chelsea, New York, where basically these like young high school people who they've come in. She works at ACS, right? So they've come in their cases where it's like they've contracted HIV because they were molested, whatever, and then they went to go sleep with rich men, rich older men who've had HIV, who gave it on to them. And it's a lot of bad things, but the way he's going about it was so disgusting. I got so disgusted. This is the last time I'm gonna say. The irony of Dr. Umar, the same people that he said he wanted to kill, that we should kill off 10% of the so-called the black people who are that we have to get rid of them, for good, whatever that crap is, right? Now he wants to use those same people, like you said in the video, to embolden himself against the naysayers, the correct naysayers. This is how sick this man is, man. Like, to any of the people who are watching, who are still on the fence about Dr. Umar, he's trying to appeal to your insecurities. He's trying to appeal to your weaknesses to get your money. He doesn't care about you. He doesn't care about your kids. He's doing drugs the last part you showed me, I had to play that part maybe 10 times to realize, did he just snort a line? After, as he was turning down the heat or whatever type of heat, it was another type of heat he was talking about. But he didn't literally snort a line. This how much disregard he has for you people. So salute to you, man. You did a bang bang job. Again, you gotta put my damn song on there, man. That's what I like about you, man.
Well, maybe I apologize. Maybe next time.
Next time, dude. You're too humble, dude. You're so damn talented, bro. The way you play the piano and come up with these, I won't say ignorant, but these just ridiculously funny songs, bro. You need to put that in a documentary, man. Showcase your talent. Stop being humble, bro. Do your thing, man. But salute to you, man. Thanks for taking my call, man. And I'm here in the chat, man. I'm liking all the videos. You already ran your likes on me, man. Please don't run the King Kong gorilla squad on me, bro. But salute to you, man. And have a good night, man.
Okay. Thanks for calling in, CK. I appreciate it. Okay. And I was working on that song, but it would have taken me like maybe another 3 days. And I said, no, let me get this done. And I basically, the piano that you guys hear in the beginning and the end, I just improvised it. And then on the fly, and I was recording it while I was improvising. And that's what I used for the documentary. Make sure you guys, let me just say this real quick before we get to our next caller. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Okay, I'll post that inside of the chat room right there. I appreciate it. Also, there was another super chat that came in from Jade. Jade, thank you so much for the super chat. She says, great work on the documentary, Lennon. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the super chat. Okay. All right. The phone lines are at maximum. We'll go until we get through to everyone. I want to make sure I give everyone a chance to speak here. Let's go to Tyree. I know you've been holding on, so let's get to you, Tyree. Tyree, are you there? Tyree, are you there? Okay, we will come back to you. We'll come back. Tyree called in earlier. Okay, next. So we got Mateo, then we got Larry, then we got Sister Stargate. We got What Happened. What's up, Eli? Let me get to Mateo here. Mateo, are you there?
Hey, what's up, brother? I'm here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you today?
Hey, I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing good. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I have a lot of stuff to kind of ramble off on. I'll try to make it short, because I know you have lots of callers and all that. But first and foremost, amazing job on the documentary, my brother. Excellent. The quality, the narration, just phenomenal job. So I wanted to say that first and foremost.
Oh, thank you.
Most definitely. Secondly, to GK, I believe it was, the best song, and which is now a household theme song in my house, is Run Them Donations. I use it in all of my videos at the very end. I hum it all the time. My 14, my 10-year-old, even my 1-year-old is humming it right now. So, GK, that's my favorite.
Okay, that's fine.
And kind of secondly, to kind of go off of what Black Divine was saying, I believe she said she was a business owner herself, me included. I own my own business. It's been 4 years running now. And it just kind of surprises me that if I was able to receive even 1/10 of the amount of money that, Dr. Umar Johnson received, my transparency level would be that much heightened, much more to show, the appreciation. He's shown none of that. He's received all of this money. There's no website, nothing detailing what he spent, what he's purchased, obviously, except for the school, of course. But just to show your supporters, your donators, that, man, I appreciate all the funds that I've received. And, this is my way to show you where the funds are being allocated. He does none of that. He has no transparency. One of the main reasons why I started kind of doing these videos, you know, also with your help, you know, being a subscriber for the past few months, you know, you've really motivated me to kind of, I don't know if expose is the right word, but just to kind of put it out there to individuals that, you know, look at this individual. He's trying to do the right thing, but the way he's going about it is just terrible, in my opinion, of course. So another couple things I just kind of wanted to ramble off on was that I first started watching Umar. This was years back, and I think this is when he received like 200 or 250K, and he was just going off on his, you know, even for those who donated to him. Oh, you know, that's all you can give me. Like, damn, just how unappreciative are you? You know? And what kind of pissed me off even more is that even with saying that, he still had followers. He still had people donating to him, even after they were getting bashed, which I had no idea. I still can't fathom why people are still donating to this individual. You know, just how ludicrous this individual is. He outs himself when he talks about, first of all, he'll get on people. Oh, you know, why are they not working with, you know, Black-owned companies and businesses, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and then in his video when he's talking about the, trying to obtain the nonprofit status and whatnot, you know, for him to go and blame, you know, he outed himself. He said he had a white lawyer that he was working with. Well, that's, you know, reason number one, you're wrong. Why are you working with a white lawyer if you're so against that? And then his excuse was even that much more BS. Oh, the white lawyer didn't tell me I had to submit or whatever the hell he was trying to talk about in time, and that's why we didn't get the nonprofit. Well, shouldn't your known about that, you know, period? Like, you should know about this stuff, right? Like, how foolish are you? You're supposed to, you know, you want us to trust you and you don't even know the basics? Like, damn, that's just laziness, just being irresponsible. And speaking of lazy, I don't know if I can cuss or not, but his ass, when he does some of these tap-ins, how lazy can your ass be? You're over there laying on a bed, you know, doing your interviews. Like, can you prop up your phone? You prop that crap up. That is so lazy. I don't want to see you eating food, licking your lips. You know, like, shit. That's in my opinion, just lazy. Like, buy a mount, do something, get a book, prop that up.
Yeah, well, listen,
Like,
I guarantee you will never see me doing a live stream laying down like this with the phone like this, eating Twizzlers. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I want my wife would. I don't know what my wife. Don't let my mama see me doing some shit like that. It'd be over then. I'm sorry. Go ahead, man.
I doubt you would be in your car at like midnight also doing an interview or rambling on to the stuff as he does frequently. I know he doesn't have a home right now or apartment, but damn, how many times have we seen him in his car late at night, cracked out or whatever the hell, baby. So I doubt that would be happening for you either way. Besides that, I also just wanted to say, what else? A question for you is, I guess, what's the next step for you in regards to, I don't know, exposing or kind of getting the word out about, you know, Dr. Umar Johnson? I don't hate the guy. You know, I wish him well, as you kind of alluded to. You know, I think we all wish the best for him. It's just his actions and what he's been doing has been suspect. But what's the next step for you, I guess? And with your videos, you put out the Shockumentary and all that. What's kind of your next step with all this?
Yeah. Short term, what I like to do is have more dialogue like this on the documentary, just to give other people an opportunity to kind of express their opinions and share their perspectives. I do have on deck the second part. That's why at the end I put to be continued, but that's going to be contingent on how Umar Johnson behaves. You know, if he gets to the physical threats again, okay, fine. You know, I'm gonna tell y'all, I had the documentary. If I included all the other stuff that I wanted to include, that documentary would have probably been close to 2 hours. So I have, what that means is that I have at least an hour, well, a little less than an hour of video footage that would be worthy of putting in a documentary, and I would put that information into the next one if it is necessary. In the meantime, what I plan on doing short term is simply to have more dialogues like this, where we can all get together and kind of talk about the documentary, but also talk more about Umar Johnson, and we can extend this even beyond Umar Johnson, because he's not the only one out here involved in this type of behavior. I just think that he's the preeminent one, and he's been preying in particular. He's been preying on single black mothers. I have a serious problem with that, man. It's wrong.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. All right. Well, no, I appreciate that. And I'm going to cut it right there. I appreciate all your work. I'm going to continue to follow and let people know about the channel and subscribe and all that good stuff. And yeah, just wanted to say thank you for everything. And I'll close it out with run them donations.
All right. Thanks, bro.
All right. Thank you, brother.
Okay. And Mateo, he does have a YouTube page. Make sure you guys head on over and subscribe. I did, at the end of the documentary, I do show his YouTube page in the closing credits. That was a way to kind of give props to other people who have been doing work on Umar. We did get a donation from Bijou Bissau. Hope I'm getting that right. It says, thank you for doing this documentary with such grace. You are truly honored. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate the kind words. Okay, so we got Larry, then we got brother Eli, then we got Porsche, we got Tyree, then we got Sister Stargate. I'm just going on the order that's now appearing down here. Larry, are you there?
What's going on, Lenny? Can you hear me?
I sure can. How's everything?
I'm all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good.
Good deal. Now, Lenny, man, I just have to ask, man, because, your channel just keeps popping up, on my feed, and it's, the reason why is because I understand, for a long time, I was a Umar Johnson supporter. I was, with everybody who was with Hidden Colors and everything. I was, really into that movement, and that came during a time in my life where, I feel like I got the bad stick from, quote unquote white supremacy within the corporate world. So I had to kind of figure out what I was going to do from there. And then you're doing YouTube and you scroll across to Umar, who's telling, who's saying things that kind of, ride that emotion, because it's really an emotional thing.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I do want to ask the same thing the gentleman asked, like, what's the end game to this? You know what I mean? Because I didn't get a chance to watch the documentary. I see that you do have a documentary. I do want to check that out because people are saying that it's good. But, what is the end game? And what is it that brought you to this point where, you really, feel like exposing Umar Johnson?
Yeah. For me, my objective is to keep people safe. In particular, single black mothers, but then also the children of these single black mothers. And that could be young black boys or young black girls. What Umar Johnson is doing is predatory. What Umar Johnson is doing is he's preying upon people who are most vulnerable. And a lot of the folk that he's preying upon, it's wrong. It's wrong. The way that I look at it is that if I can stand up and speak out against it, then maybe I can inspire some other men in particular to stand up and speak about it, because it's symptomatic of a deeper issue that's present in the African American community. And what I'm speaking to is the fact that in many cases, for many of us, but in many cases, we have situations where men are not stepping up to keep our women safe, to keep children safe. So here we have it taking place online, where an individual is able to reach hundreds of thousands of people and prey upon them in this way. And yet, for whatever reason, in my opinion, there hasn't been enough black men in particular standing up against this type of behavior. So for me, my ultimate objective is to put out information that will empower those who would otherwise be victimized by Umar Johnson. That's my end goal. And in terms of on my channel, what I hope to do is simply to have continue to have dialogue about this, like we're having this evening, because I think it allows people to share their perspective. But then also, I think it gives people an opportunity to ask questions like you're asking here now. I think that that's also important. The most important thing, I think, is for people to be able to think a little bit deeper about what's really taking place with Umar Johnson. He is a predator. He is the type of individual who will do anything and everything for money and for sex and to satisfy his addictions. Well, that's no different than a lot of well, not a lot, but a lot of the men that I have seen in my life and how they operated in the real world, dealing with single black mothers in particular. That's wrong. And as a man, I should be speaking out about that, and I would encourage other men to do the same.
Mm-hmm. Well, I definitely agree, man. So I definitely agree, because I was actually at a point, myself, and that's why I actually want to, award you. And I say, I definitely applaud that you have the discipline, you know, and the oratory ability to be able to, you know, speak upon him, because I was at a point in my life also when I started to kind of step back and look at the whole movement and see that it was something that was really counterproductive, you know what I mean? Because no matter what information and, you know, the great vocal abilities that these people have, you know, I didn't really see a change in my life until I actually started to hunker down upon myself and upon my resources, upon my own family, and do my own thing, you know what I mean? But I do applaud what you do. But what I would say people really need to do, man, because I understand what your crowd is about, and I do really respect and I appreciate that you do have this type of crowd, is that people really take a look at the 48 Laws of Power. All right, because these people like Umar Johnson and Tariq and things like that, they're gonna have their time where they go away. You know what I mean? You see Tariq singing songs, and he's doing all type of shit to kind of, you know, mix it up. He was a relationship expert before, and then he was, you know, Mr. Black Empowerment, and then the nigga
rapper.
You know, he's a rapper. So I mean, that's what he does. So he knows what it is. I mean, so I respect him in that moment. And actually, I still do listen to him because it's just entertainment. It's funny. All right?
Okay.
It's
let
not
me ask you,
serious.
Larry, do you still follow Umar?
Hell no.
Okay,
That's why
I'm just asking.
because I grew up. It's like, yeah, I used to believe in Santa Claus too, but you know, hell no. But also, like I say though, you know, the 48 Laws of Power is what these people are doing. What these people are using. You know what I mean? And if you have a better understanding for that, then when they do say things or they do things or they attack people or they have these spectacles, you'll understand what's going on, and you'll look at it like, oh, okay. And you won't become an idolater. You know, the Bible talks about people being idolaters, man. And I was a former idolater. Everybody on this channel, I feel like, a former idolaters, if we honest with ourselves, that's what it was. You know what I mean? But again, the biggest thing is you figuring out yourself. All right? Because honestly, I mean, again, we have an extreme right now, but it's the fucking coronavirus going on right now, man. You know what I mean?
I went to Walmart today. I couldn't get nothing.
Dude, you know what I mean? So honestly, yo, listen, be looking at the stock market, you know what I mean? Be looking at these assets. You know, they always say when it's blood in the streets, even if it's your own, you buy for generational wealth, man. You know what I mean? It's cool to have our jokes and laughs and these clowns and talk about these people, but really be focusing on yourself, man. All right, because I mean, you know, that's really what it is in the day. But Lynn, I'm gonna check out the documentary, man. And I don't want to take up too much of you guys' time, but I do appreciate, you know, that this movement is coming. You know what I mean? But tell your kids this too, because what happens is this: every 8 to 10 years, a new leader's gonna pop up with a nice mouthpiece. You know what I mean? With great oratory abilities, with some type of vision. Maybe God sent them or whatever the fuck. You know, I'm the nephew of Umar Johnson.
Yeah, right.
And you need to be able to tell your kids, like, no, we don't fuck with the nephew.
That's right.
Johnson,
That's right.
All right, but yeah, man, I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, man. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, thanks for calling in, bro. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right, that's Brother Larry. Thanks for calling in. I do appreciate it. There was another super chat too from Jenny, Gang Dancer Horror Stories. Says the documentary was very professional and exceeded my expectations. Salute. And I'm trying not to look at that graphic over there. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Okay, let's go to Brother Eli. What happened to common sense? Brother Eli, are you there?
How's it going, Brother Lynn? I just want to make sure you can hear me. I had to mute my mic, so hopefully everyone can hear me. But excellent job, phenomenal job.
Thank you.
On the documentary. The very most important thing that stood out to me, and let me see something. I had to mute my my mic, so I'm not going to be able to hear you. I mean, my speakers. So I'm not going to be able to hear you when you speak back to me. But the most important thing that stood out to me was in July of 2017 on a Roland Martin interview, where he stated specifically that he received $700,000, right? And then he gave a specific date as to when the school was going to open up. See, that right there speaks to the criminal element and the criminal nature of this, because he gave a specific date and he gave a specific dollar amount. And for all of you who are Umar Johnson supporters, there's no way in hell that you're going to tell me from July of 2017 up until now we're in March of 2020 that he has not received a dollar more than $700,000 when he's sitting in the car and he's going donations. When you see that, that right there, that was for me, that was the biggest thing that stood out to me, because at this point, Umar Johnson has not provided anyone with documentation for any of the things that he stated. You've seen no bank receipts. You've seen no purchase receipts as far as the deed. You've seen nothing that shows that he's actually has done anything with this money. So what he says is he gives updates verbally. So that means you're taking him for his word, right? So this is not me putting words in his mouth, and this is not you putting words in his mouth. He's telling the donors to follow him based upon what he says. Well, based upon what he said out of his mouth, he received $700,000 in July of 2017, and then stated it again during the Mike Nice interview. So at this point, I'm not guessing. I'm going off of what he said. So if you are a supporter and you are a donor and you believe what Umar Johnson is saying, then at this point, he told you what you need to know. So that means he received way more than $700,000. And then the next thing that really stood out to me was the fact that the plumber was documenting and saying, hey, I'm trying to help you out. Now, you had a previous caller, I wrote it down, her name is Black Divine, and she was talking about how she's a business owner. And there's a certain level of transparency that you have to display. And this is why Umar Johnson never wants to work with other professionals, because he understands that people who really run legitimate businesses where their licenses is on the line, where they can be sued, right, where they can be legally held accountable, the minute that they see him running this operation, they're going to immediately back off, because they're going to be able to see through it from the beginning that this is fraud to the highest degree. You do not operate and run a business this way at all. There has to be documentation. There has to be permits pulled. And even if the school's a private school, you can't just come and go, well, it's a private school, so I'm not going to hire you because you're not an alpha male. Or I'm not going to hire you because you have blonde hair. Or I'm not going to hire you because you may be a homosexual. You cannot do that. Even if it's a privately funded school, you can't do that. You will be sued to the high heavens and back. So there's no way that you would ever be able to do this. Now I'm going to mute my mic so you can ask me a question and we don't get the echo.
Okay, thank you for that. And I did share, everyone, I always encourage, and I also have Brother Eli's YouTube page at the end of the documentary in the rolling credits. His YouTube page is What Happened to Common Sense. I guess what I can ask you, I know you pointed out a couple of things that kind of stood out to you. Was there anything in the documentary from a business, well, let me ask you, from a business standpoint, how did you feel about the plumber that reached out to Dr. Umar and the type of response or lack thereof that the plumber got from Umar?
It highlighted a lot of the things that I believed from the beginning. Like you've stated, like Anti-Afro Svengali has stated many times, so many people email me with actual documentation stating that they've reached out to the brother. When I saw his home in the state that it was in, I got on the phone before I made a video and I called them, because see, you get a lot of these brothers and sisters who say, oh, well, what are you doing to help Black people? Or what are you doing to help the community? Right. And I have so much damning information about Umar Johnson that if I'm talking about like hardcore documented stuff, that if I really wanted to be malicious in any way, I could release this stuff and I could actually harm this man to the point where we're talking about legally, this man can go to prison for some of the stuff that I actually have. But like you said, I want to be compassionate. But the reason why he doesn't want to work with other professionals on a business level is because if he did that, he would get exposed for really running a fraud. And this is the most important, this is the key thing. And that goes back to like when you asked me before about the Breakfast Club. It really goes to show you the level of ineptitude in our community, just the level of the lack of professionalism, where we have people who have these platforms where they have millions of people viewing and watching, and they don't even take the time to do a basic background check and to actually look and see, does the man have a 501c3? Is the LLC up and running? Because a jack of all trades is a master of none. And if you look at the previous school, I think it was the Warrior J Academy. When I did a video and I had broken down how It cost that school over $2 million a year to operate. See, if you was a serious journalist, or you was a serious investor in this project, the very first thing you would have to do is have a blueprint, a template as to what's come before you. And is this actually practical? Because when I hear the Umar Johnson supporters keep saying, well, if he was scamming, well, why would he buy the school then? I'll tell you why you will buy the school. If I received over $1 million in donations with no accountability, and I want to keep this scheme going for as long as possible, and I don't have to produce anything but some videos laying down in my bed, I'll go get the school for $400,000 because you gave me over $700,000 profit free. I mean, tax free, and I didn't have to give you anything. All I have to do is sit up here and talk to you about Mama Oya, run around in some graves, eat some Twizzlers, and you're going to give me $700,000? Hell, I'd do it too. I'll go buy an abandoned building and sit up here and keep talking to you about Trayvon Martin, about OG Gurley, about Marcus Garvey, about Frederick Douglass, about Mama Oya. I'll talk about my pineal gland. I'll go to the fifth dimension. I'll come back. I'll tap into the ancestors. I'll go grave hunting every week because you're giving me $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 every single month. You know what I'm saying? Over and over and over again. And I don't have to produce anything but me laying in the bed eating Twizzlers. Then I can pick up some girls on the side. I can go travel for free. So that's why he purchased the school, because he realized by purchasing the school allows the scheme to go on even longer. And I did a video the other day where I had spoke about Jay Morrison. And see, what you begin to realize is these brothers are history pimps, right? See, when you take a step back and you say to yourself, like, I'm a professional, right? Like, if you come on my channel, I mainly talk about finance stuff, you know, Bitcoin, or I'll talk about starting a business, or I'll talk about the stock market. Like, that's what I do for a living. I can't sit up here and talk to you. I'm not a biologist. I'm not an infectious disease expert, right? So now what you're going to start to see is all of these conscious brothers, they're going to be able to break down the coronavirus. And they're going to be able to tell you where it came from. They're going to tell you how they can cure it with some herbs. They're going to be able to tell you all of this. Every week, they're an expert in something different. They're an expert in marriages, yet they're not married. They're an expert in finance, yet many of them are bankrupt. They're an expert in taking care of children, yet they can't take care of yours, right? They're experts in everything, but there's only 24 hours in a day. They have 3 wives. They have children everywhere. How can you run a business, be a husband, be a father, then do research, then sleep, then stay? There's not enough time in a day. So whenever you see a person that's scattered like that, where every day they're a political strategist today, they're a pimp this day, then they're a rapper, then they're a singer. It shows you that they're just an opportunist looking to hop on the next wave that's coming. And that's the same thing with, like, when I was breaking down the Jay Morrison thing. Here it is, a man, if you read the prospectus on the business, he's not even telling you what type of real estate they're going to focus on. Like, there's different types of real estate. There's commercial real estate, there's single family, there's multi-family, there's fix and flips, right? Like, what type of real estate are you going to be doing? He just said, oh, we're going to do some gentrification, then we're going to start a legacy center, then I'm going to teach, then I'm going to do hard money loans. It's like, where's the focus in business? You can't be all over the place. A jack of all trades is a master of none. And I'll mute my mic.
All right. I did show again, everyone, Eli's YouTube page is What Happened to Common Sense. He was referring to Jay Morrison video. That one's here, right here. I'm kind of putting my little finger thingy there. It says Jay Morrison and the Tulsa Real Estate Fund lost money, I believe. I don't see the whole title there, but I'll be sure to check that out when I have some time. Was there anything else you want to mention or talk about from a financial perspective dealing with, based upon what you saw in the documentary? Anything else stand out to you in terms of the financial aspect of Umar Johnson's school scam?
Yeah, two more things before I go. Number one, see, one thing about narcissistic people or manipulators is they all tend to travel in the same circle, right? And they tend to have the same verbiage in the way that they approach their victims, how they line people up, right? Because it's problem, reaction, solution. It's not that they're not identifying real problems, right? It's just that the solution to the problem is give me more money. It's not, hey, let's start something and really build something. That's not what it's about. And if you go back to the Tariq Nasheed roast, when him and Tariq Nasheed got into it, this is very, very telling. Tariq Nasheed said multiple times, Is he on the narcotic?
Yep.
Is he on the narcotic? And he kept saying it over and over again. See, when you start putting everything together in the totality and you really take a wide angle lens, and he kept saying, is he on a narcotic? Is he on a narcotic? That meant to me he knew something about Umar Johnson that deeper and personal, because you wouldn't say that for no
Yeah,
reason.
I know. I peeped that.
Is he on a narcotic unless you suspected it or you knew that he was on a narcotic. And then now when you see him take a step away from that camera and you hear that deep sniff, and before that you see that twitch on his face, you would have to be blind.
Yeah.
The level of mental gymnastics and hoops that you would have to jump through to make this in any capacity make sense tells you the level of cognitive dissonance that a lot of people suffer from, or a lot of people, because they're abusers, they don't see anything wrong with it. Now, getting to the economic standpoint, again, like I said before, now it's up to the donors, right? Because you have proof now. The most important thing about the documentary, and people keep saying, some people are saying like, oh, it's regurgitated clips. Yeah, for some of us who follow this, we've seen this before. But you have to think about it. There's a group of people who haven't seen this. And most importantly, you put it into a digestible format where it's 1 hour. See, some people, they don't have 4 or 5, 6 hours to listen to a live stream week after week. But if you watch that clip for 1 hour, a few things are going to jump out to you. Number one, lack of transparency. Number two, you don't know how much money this man's received, but you know that he's received more than enough money to pay the taxes. He's received more than enough money to start the renovations, and he's received more than enough money to actually, hire proper staff and teams initially to get the school up and running. But when you take a step back and you begin to say to yourself, this man, even if you had the best intentions, let's say that he got to school, you believe in everything he's saying. At this point, he's costing you money because of the lack of understanding as to what he's doing. He just cost the donors $160,000 because he lacked the knowledge to do what he is saying that he's going to do. And see, that's the most troubling thing. It goes to show you the level of irresponsibility that he has with your money, where he's guessing and experimenting with your money. And now you have other professionals saying, hey, we've reached out to him. We wanted to help him for free. Build the website, do the plumbing work. It goes to show you that even if you were a believer in everything that he was saying, it goes to show you that he lacks the experience, which then makes you have to take a step further back and say to yourself, how is a man with 6 degrees, the most requested scholar, Ifan Tunde, right, who can tap into the ancestors? I mean, Mama Oya's on the shoulder. As soon as something happens, right? The ancestors, he can tap into them every time. But the ancestors can't help him get the right attorney. The ancestors can't help him get the plumber, the master plumber, until he can get the free labor. The ancestors can't help him do anything tangible as far as getting the school up and running. But the ancestors are there. See, it goes to show you he's tapping into a certain demographic of people. And this is one of your callers had asked the question, what's the end game? This is the end game. The end game is not to tell you what to think. It's not to make you one of my drones and one of my followers. The end game is to teach you how to be a conscious, free-thinking person. That when a person says to you, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4, you need to take a step back and then say, hold on, what you're saying doesn't make sense. Because I don't care what you think about white supremacy. I don't care what you think about capitalism. As long as you live in America, this is a system of rules of which you must play by. It's like saying I'm playing basketball, but I don't want to dribble the ball. I want to get a football, and I want to try to dribble a football. Okay. Well, the football designed, you can't bounce the football like a basketball, right? So when you want to embark on an endeavor, you have to have a team in place first. The accountant, the attorney, the plumbers, all of the technicians, a website. This man has nothing that resembles anything, an ounce of professionalism. He has nothing that resembles professionalism. No website, doesn't have the 501c3 status, which goes back now to your point about the financial aspect. See, what a lot of you don't understand is even though the 501c3 status was revoked, he still has to take care of the taxes for the years that he was underneath the 501c3 and he was receiving those donations. And what a lot of you don't understand, because see, I have the documentation. He has hundreds of thousands of dollars of unpaid taxes and tax liabilities that are beginning to stack up on him. And I'm telling you, I don't care how much he tries to put stuff in other people's name. I don't care how many different cash apps he creates. There is a digital footprint on the internet. Okay. And these videos are archived forever. Even if you delete them, those cash apps are there forever. Eventually, he's going to rack up enough IRS debt. They are going to come after him. And you're going to hear all of these conspiracy theory people saying, oh, you know, it's white supremacy. No, you have to pay your damn taxes. You cannot take money underneath a 501c3 and not file the proper paperwork. But again, last thing before I let you answer the question, this was all intentionally done. You don't have to be a PhD in economics and finance and have 6 degrees. Lack of transparency shows you're trying to hide something. He purchased the school because this man is getting thousands of dollars every month to do so. And he's not giving you anything on a level. What has Umar Johnson actually done where you can say he's actually helped these boys? Okay. Like, you find me some boys where he's actually went to the school and got the boy and said, you know, we got him out of special aid. And we did this. Umar Johnson's doing exactly what you and I are doing. Sitting here talking. He talk to you about things that you're insecure about that make you feel vulnerable. Yeah. Right? That he can tap into things that are more like Trayvon Martin is a pain point for people, right? White supremacy because some people have been victimized by the system. And when you have this man come around, he taps into your mind because it's a cult. And I'll leave it there.
All right. Well, Brother Eli, thank you so much. People love you in the chat room as always. I don't know if you saw it or not. But they love it when you come on. Let me make sure I give a shout out to your YouTube page. You guys make sure if you haven't subscribed to What Happened to Common Sense, this is Brother Eli's YouTube page. He has all types of videos on different topics, but his main focus is the financial aspect. And I know I've learned a whole lot. Okay, make sure you guys subscribe and do it as soon as you can. Brother Eli, you have any final words you'd like to share before you head on off?
Yeah, I will leave it like this. Again, guys, I'm not. People come on here and say, "Oh, you think you're perfect." You know, you come on here and you say, you talk about black people. You hate on black men. Excuse me. You're jealous of a black man. What's your thing against black men? And it's not that, guys. I'm not perfect. I've done things in my past. I've never been to prison or nothing like that. But I'm saying we're human beings. Yeah. We've all done things that we wish we could do better, or that we can change. That's not what it's about. What it's about is this. When Malcolm X became Malcolm, when he went from red, when you step into the role of a leader, all bets are off at that point. You have to live to the standard that you are preaching. If you are preaching that, you know, you're celibate, then I expect you to be celibate. Okay? If you are preaching about, you know, drugs and abuse, I expect you to be drug free, right? It's not about holding the past against you. It's about holding you accountable today, right now. And for you Umar Johnson supporters, you are hurting this man. See, if you actually cared any ounce about this man, you would request this for his safety and for his well-being. Because here's a man who claims to be a professional who is standing in a park. He is standing in a park in the middle of the day yelling at his phone. He is standing in the park in the middle of the day, holding his phone, yelling at his phone. Man. Yelling at his phone, talking about Mama Oya blew his phone out of his hand. And this is a man that's trying to take your boys. So if you love this man in any capacity, you would be doing your best to reach out to him and help him out. It's not about attacking. It's about uplifting. And sometimes you need that tough love.
That's real talk.
Get you to where you need to go.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. As always, again, people, make sure you subscribe to Brother Eli's YouTube page. I'll show it one more again. What happened to Common Sense? He always drops the jewels. All right. Looks like we got 3 other callers. We have Tyree, Sister Stargate, and we got my brother up on. Oh, hold on. Go, hold on. I'm tempted to come right to you right now. But I have these other callers who've been holding on. So hold on one second. And then also Real G's in the house too. What's happening, man? Y'all hold on. I wanted to hear from both of you brothers, okay? Brother Tyree, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Oh, hello.
Oh, thank goodness. Finally, man. Listen, I'm thankful that you called back in, and thank you for being patient, and I can hear you perfectly now. Thank you so much. People, we have 1,010 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I haven't been saying it earlier, but if y'all can do that, I would appreciate it. Tyree, how you doing, man? What you have to share with us? Go ahead.
Okay, I'm trying to get on so badly, and I wanted to open my mouth too.
Go ahead. You on now? Go ahead, bro.
Oh man. Oh yeah. Again, I just want to say much respect to you on the documentation. It's very awesome, and that painting over there. Oh my God.
So people, if you tuned in later, a brother he had sent me this via email, and I just got it while we was in a live stream. And this is the rock up there at FDMG. It has been defaced. So things are not going well up at them trap houses. You saw the documentary. What are your thoughts on the documentary, Tyree?
Oh man, I just want to say my thoughts on the documentary. I mean, all of what the Prince of Cauliflower said is finally catching up to him, and it's gonna come right back and bite him in the ass because he already knew what he said was wrong, but he ain't gonna admit that. And I also want to say the Breakfast Club, or should I say the Gut Fist Club, that's what I will call it. That's what I would call it. For him to say that black men should obligate to a black woman, don't date someone else that's white. I mean, who does he think he is? What is he, a dictator or something? I mean, come on. If I choose to date a woman outside of my race, that's my business. That's none of Moisturizer Johnson's business. That's none of these so-called pro-black Hotep idiots' business. It's my business. I mean, I don't have to show it off on Instagram or on Facebook to see what she looks like. I don't have to show it off like that. That's my business. Oh yeah, and I just want to apologize to you and to everybody in the chat. I didn't really mean to go off on a deep end, but if something doesn't feel right to me, I have to say something. Okay?
It's okay. It's fine. It's
Yes,
perfectly
I was
fine.
saying, a big overstuffed turkey like him really doesn't have a place to live. I mean, food on the table, a roof over his head, and a pot to piss in. Okay? I mean, I didn't know that he got evicted. You know what I mean? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And
Make a Change has the documents on that.
Okay. The other part, what he doesn't know, that we're working people. All of us are working people. We don't live the life of luxury, and we wasn't born with silver spoon in our mouths.
Yeah.
Okay? And I also want to say to the former UJ supporters out there, the ones that's being scammed out of their own money, I just want to say that I am very sorry to hear that. I understand it's not fair and it's very frustrating. I get it. But this is an important lesson, not just for them, but for all of us. And we as a people, we need to think and educate ourselves and do some more research. Don't listen to none of these so-called Hotep buffoons with their rhetoric. Because every time when I hear something like that, it makes me that makes my stomach churn. You know what I mean? So that's all I had. Huh?
Yeah, was that it?
The other thing I want to say too, I know I kind of messed up because I.
No, you're good. You're good. Take your time.
As for that phony ass story about the death of Kobe Bryant, I know I said this already. He's only making this up. He's only saying that just to make a quick buck off of a school that he will never open.
No. Well, thank you so much, Tyree. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, you're very welcome. Take care and have a good night.
All right, you too. Yeah, and that Kobe Bryant, I had to put that in there simply because I was a Kobe Bryant fan and a Shaq fan. I'm from Southern California, so I'm a Laker fan, and I just felt it was so disrespectful to Kobe Bryant and Kobe Bryant's family and all of the other people who perished in that tragedy. But Umar, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Okay, we got Sister Stargate, then we got Just Some Guy, then we got Real G's, then we got, excuse me, then we got Mike. Okay, everyone, please hold on. Let's get to Sister Stargate. You there?
Hey, Brother Lennon.
Hey, Brother Lennon.
Hey, how are you? Thank you for being patient. We had so many callers this evening. I appreciate your patience.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you get a chance to watch the documentary?
Yes, I watched the documentary, and the thing that stood out to me the most was when he was talking about when the boys, I'm sorry, that the girls should not be in the presence of men, or women should not be in the presence of men, but he was not holding the men accountable for their actions being alone with the women. So that was very telling, and that he has no expectation when he, if he ever has boys in his presence to teach, that he's not going to teach them to be responsible for their actions. And if anything happens, or if there's any accusations that go down, that they're gonna hold the women accountable and not themselves.
Yeah, I found that interesting too when he was talking about the black women who go up to the school for their children. They have their pajamas on.
Right.
You know, that's kind of like a negative stereotype. But I also thought, I figured, wait a minute, but at least she's there in the child's life, regardless of what she has on. And for him, out of all people, to be talking about that, he's an absentee father. He has 2 children. He's been in child support. I didn't put this in the documentary, but if I do part 2, y'all best believe it'll be on. That he's been in child support for over 17 years. He's an absentee father for 17 years, and yet he wants to criticize and make jokes about single black mothers who go up to their school and happen to have their pajamas on. It's disrespectful. It's wrong.
Absolutely. So that's basically the thing that actually stood out to me. I saw that in your pre-documentary video, but when you put it all together in in a smooth reel like that, it just stands out, and it really just kind of it really saddened me that he would not hold the boys responsible. He did not say anything about the boys being responsible for their actions,
or the men.
Or the men, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or the men, yes. Because I'm thinking, like, if he ever gets hold of children by himself and he's talking to boys, I could just imagine him, not teaching them that they need to be responsible.
And respectful.
And respectful. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sister Stargate. Thanks for calling in. Let me just ask one last question. Did it remind you of the old school Lennon Honor films?
The old school Lennon Honor films. I'm telling you. Boy, I was like, it took me back.
Oh, yes. That's back in the day. That's when I had a little hair on my head. That's been a while ago. Thanks for calling.
Like that's it. LennonHonorFilms.com.
There we go. Thanks for calling in, sis.
Thank you, Brother Lennon.
Memories. Okay. Okay, let's go to my brother. Brother, man, what's happening?
What's going on, Lennon? How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling in. Thanks for being patient.
No problem, man. Thank you, man. First, I want to say, y'all hit the likes, smash the likes. There's a lot of people in the build, man. Show some love.
I appreciate it.
And then second, man, I want to do like this, man. Bravo.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, you got the point across, man. Exactly. As you pointed out, the war he actually has going on. He has some animus with black men.
Yeah,
he has a lot of self-hatred.
Yeah.
And for him to try to pass that on to our boys, to him to say, I want to be the guy that teaches your boy. I want to be the guy that teaches your son. And I have a son. You have a couple sons.
Yeah.
I don't want my son learning from him. I don't think he has anything really to offer of any type of value.
No.
the people say, you know, take the information and then leave something else. Well, I look at it as the poison root. If this part of the information is bad, how do I know if anything else that he's given me is bad information? Because he's giving me bad information from the start. He's not being truthful, not being honest with how well he's handling this right here, this part of the tree. Does that make sense?
No, that makes absolute sense.
You know, and it's a shame, man. As somebody who participated in starting a school, I know that it can be done, and I know it can be done very quickly. I know they can be done using state funds, you know, and that's another thing is because like Brother Eli was saying, his lack of knowledge is actually costing donations. It's costing that money. That's money that could be going somewhere. You know, matching funds. I did a video and I talked about matching funds. He could take advantage of that. So you got people who one weekend we wanted to buy T-shirts for some kids. So we went to Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut has Yum Brands, and y'all should know this. Yum Brands, which is Taco Bell, Long John Silver, whatever, Pizza Hut. They have dollar for dollar matches on nonprofit employee donations. So employees give $5. Yum Brands matches $5. Now we've doubled the money. So how many people have worked for Pizza Hut that have donated? How many people work for General Electric? How many people? So just by not doing things in order, in good order, he's costing, and he's literally, he could have, instead of him going home with 750,000, he could have been with a couple of million.
Yeah.
Easily. So that's all I got, man. And Brother Eli be going in, man.
Now, if you don't mind, because if you don't want to say it, that's fine. But I know in the documentary I did talk about the professional who had offered Umar Johnson, you know, someone, I'm not going to say who, was going to do his website for free.
Yeah, it's me, man. I actually have the number one SEO company, search engine optimization. We build websites. We help businesses get found on Google in the state of Indiana. If you Google SEO in Indiana, we show up number one, period. You know that's where we are. And I reached out to that brother and I said, you know, first I said, you know, hey, have you thought about doing a correspondence course? Then I was like, you know what? You know, Brother Umar, I build websites. My company builds websites. We build really good websites. I will host your website. We'll build it for you. We'll make it, you know, total e-commerce, whatever needs to be done, and we'll do it at no cost. Host it at no cost, do it completely no cost. Man, I got blocked, man. I got blocked. You know, he pulled a block party on me, man. Invited me to the block party. It was Rick James playing.
He wasn't playing, huh?
Okay. You know what I'm saying? He blocked me quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was me, man. Yeah, it was Tell SEO, man.
Yeah, how long ago was that?
It was a couple years ago, man. It was at least a couple years ago.
And he still doesn't have a website up.
Oh man, I saw it was a Wix. It was a Wix website. It was a free website. I said, man, this guy, if you want to represent black people, man, I want us to look good. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna be black, man, then let's shine and be black, man. Let's show black excellence. What is wrong with that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just what is wrong with being excellent, man? What is wrong with demanding excellence? Especially when we represent my son, man. Come on, man. I don't want to see my son's principal out there, you know, talking, man. You know, I don't want to see that, man. I don't want to see him out there looking over his shoulder when he's talking about how he's going, you know, how he's going to do the next matchmaking a match. I don't want him out there looking like Basehead Willie, man. I just don't, man.
My man said look like Basehead Willie.
Hey, man,
it is what it is,
like
bro.
He had a tight itch right here, man.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Yeah, man. Hey, I'm proud of you, man. Yeah, I'm so proud of you, man. You know, doing it, man. That's.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, well, we got to hook you up with Brother Owen there, man, to get you on there talking about.
Oh, yeah. Anytime, whenever they're ready.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, right on, bro. Thanks for calling in.
All right, man. Peace.
All right. And this is a good brother right here, people. He's helped me out tremendously. He's helped my wife out. He's actually helped my family out. And then we're going to go to Real G's. And he is part of the reason why I decided to go back to college and pursue a degree in cybersecurity, because he's into IT and stuff. So I just to let you guys know, we got some really good people out here who are willing to help. He's helped me. He tried to help Umar. Umar doesn't want help. He wants money, straight up. That's what it is. Okay. We had a couple other super chats. Dialoguing with Nasir. Thank you so much. Also, Big Man 7917. Thank you so much. And also, there was someone else. I missed it. I apologize, but thank you as well. Okay, I've been listening. I haven't been able to actually to check in inside the chat room. At this time, we have 921 people in the building. Make sure y'all hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. Let's go to Real G's TV.
Hey.
Real G, what's happening, man?
What's up, man? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
Listen, I watched that documentary, man, and I'm telling you that it was fire, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from start to beginning, you know, you just went into detailed work about, you know, some of the things that we've all been talking about when it comes to Dr. Umar Johnson, and we've been trying to bring this, you know, bring it to light. Yeah. But you put the whole thing together in a perspective where now they don't have to go from site to site to site. All they have to do is sit there and watch that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I put it on my channel, because I'm like, okay, you know what? I don't have to say nothing else about this. I don't have to speak about Dr. Umar no more. Just watch the video. You see what I'm saying? And then you have to ask yourself, is this the type of person that you want your children to be around? And the answer is obviously no. Now, mind you, he's a smart brother, okay? He's very intelligent, very intellectual. We're in a scholarship arena, okay? And when I say we, I'm talking about, I'm a member of the House of Consciousness, Black News 102, Sarnetta TV, okay? And that's basically where Umar Johnson first got his start.
Yeah, no, I remember, yeah.
Okay? He was on the circuit, he was doing things.
I remember.
But then when he hit the House of Consciousness, we kind of like blew him up. And from there, he's just been, you know, taking off. But now we're kind of like, we didn't want to create this type of monster, because now, you know, we thought he had good intentions when he started talking about opening up the school, when he started talking about ADHD for the children. You know what I'm saying? This really, you know, we took it and like, you know, let's run with this, because now we have a Black scholar who's on the circuit talking about issues that are affecting our children. And it was like, dude, let's run with this. And it was like, let's start advertising this, let's start promoting it. And then, you know, when he started talking about building a school, we was like, okay, we are all for this, because we got Q-Butter in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
He did the same thing. He built the school, and you can see what's going on with him. He's very transparent. You know, we do interviews over there with him as well. But the thing is that as you watch him progress, as you watch Umar progress from the stripper, from all the other different social issues that he has, he's not worthy. You know what I'm saying? He's not worthy to even hold that title or that position because of his conduct. You see what I'm saying? His conduct is what's destroying his character. It's not like he's telling lies about the ADHD. It's not like he's out here perpetrating a fraud when it comes to issues that are concerning our community. You see what I'm saying? It's his conduct after that. It's his conduct after he speaks about issues that are concerning our community. It's his conduct after he talks about being with the children and stuff. So no, we can't do that. Just like in the Marine Corps, there's a code of conduct that you must follow in order to become a Marine, or you unbecoming of a Marine and you get kicked out. And this is why we held him to a higher esteem, and he fell, and he keeps falling, and he keeps falling. And now it's gotten to the point where we don't want him no more. We have to kick him off the block. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that he's too much out there now. He done, just like his father said, you're not a goon. I didn't raise you like that. You know what I'm saying? So now as a result, he's perpetrating a fraud. We have this thing in New York called representation without presentation is perpetration. So he's out here perpetrating to be something that he's not. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to sticking to his general subject and sticking to the plan that he had, because he had a hell of a plan, but he messed it up. You know what I'm saying? But that documentary, whoa, dude, you blew the roof off. Do you know right now it's going viral? That documentary is going viral. There's people right now doing shows about that documentary. Okay, we got Chad. He's talking about it. We got other people talking about it. They're live right now talking about the documentary that you did on Umar Johnson, and they're saying they're weighing it, and they say it's worth its weight in gold. So, brother, you did. I applaud you.
Oh, thank you.
Hell of a job.
Thank
you. Know what I'm saying? And we appreciate that. Now, one
Yeah,
more
thank
thing before I go, I want to invite your listening audience to come to my book club. I have a free book club with over 700 free books that talk about our African history from our perspective. Okay. And the name of the book club is called Tahuti's Learning Center. It's right at the top right here. Okay, it's called Tahuti's Learning Center. And again, it's have over 700 free books in there, and it speaks to different topics when it comes to our African history, when it comes to our collective as a people. Okay, so I invite you guys to come over there and check that out.
Okay, and then here's Real G's. I have a screen share here, Real G's TV. Okay, I also
Right.
have him in the ending credits. Okay, so make sure you guys subscribe, and he does topics on many different issues.
Right,
Yeah.
we going after Hassan Campbell now. We
Oh,
gonna-
goodness.
like Umar Johnson.
Oh, goodness. Let me ask you one other question before you get off here, and then we're going to go to Mike, and then we should be done. So you watched the documentary. Was there anything in the documentary that really, really stood out to you? And the reason I'm asking is because and correct me if I'm wrong, you were once a supporter of Umar Johnson, correct?
I was once a supporter of Umar Johnson. Like I said, I come from the House of Consciousness.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we all had support for him. We set up gold funds for him. We had set up donation parties for him. He was a regular invite at the House of Consciousness. Okay, and at Black News 102 and Sinetta TV. But then we started seeing what was going on, so we pulled back from him. Now, we don't have no animosity against him, you know what I'm saying? But the fact is, he's out there, and he's way out there. Matter of fact, Sinetta was one of the first ones to say, this dude is a fraud. And he was in the house with Sinetta and around Sinetta's kids, but he called it like he seen it. He said, this dude is out here frauding the people. And, you know, that breaks ties. But yeah, what was more intriguing to me the most was when he talked about the kids, when he talked about how now, instead of us trying to bring suggestions to the youth where they can begin to turn the tide, he talked about how we might have to go in and kill some of our youth.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, you know, to me, that was like, yo, hold up. So you saying now we got to go to war against the youth? How are the youth going to respect us when they hear stuff like this?
Yeah.
And the elders is talking about killing us, y'all. This man who wants to open up a school is talking about killing us.
Man.
What do you think the youth is going to respond to? How do you think they're going to respond? They're not going to have no respect for the elders now. You see what I'm saying? When they hear stuff like this. And I think that was a diabolical move on his part. And that kind of brought his status down to an all-time low. You know, and that's what I really liked about it, because you exposed that. You know, I try to expose different things that go on in our community, you know, and that right there, to me, that was like a stab in the back of our youth, because all the people out here trying to reach the youth, and he went and just put this knife in our backs and pulled us back a couple of more decades, because you know our youth are out of control right now. And they need guidance, you know. But brother, I appreciate you, man, and I applaud you. Okay.
Thank you, bro.
Keep up the work, man. Keep up the work.
Yeah, you too, brother. Thanks so much.
All right.
Peace, man.
All right.
All right. That's a real G. As we used to say back in the day. Here's a real G. Okay, we got Mike and then we got Taz. But let me give thanks to a couple of more super chats from Big Man. Said Umar Johnson, AK Crush Them Cookies. Don't get me started tonight, please. Don't get me started tonight. Okay, and then Kumar Kendricks sent in a super chat. Thank you. Says thanks for your service, Lennon. Love everything you're doing. Okay, Kumar, thanks so much, and thanks for the super chat. And then dialoguing with Nasir said, take the knowledge, but realize the BS he talks. And thank you for the super chat as well. Okay, I think we're getting close to being able to close out here. We just have, looks like we have two more callers. Let's see here. We're going to go to Mike. Mike, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I sure can. How are you today, this evening?
Hey, man, let me just say, well, I'm doing great. And I just thank you so much for bringing me on. And congratulations on doing an excellent work with your documentary, man. It's right on time. I've been following you probably for the last couple of years. I've watched kind of all your series on Umar Johnson, and the documentary really brought it full circle to your first one, where you talked about a promise that goes unfulfilled is nothing more than
a lie.
And that's really true. It's nothing more than a lie. And, you know, that's one part in the documentary that really stood out, to where Umar, I think he was in a car and he was talking about, well, if you don't, believe, if you don't follow my thought patterns, or if you don't, and I'm paraphrasing, you don't believe what I'm saying, if you don't do this, then keep your kids away from FDMG. Basically, if you're not going to follow me and kind of be under my guidance and leadership, note for note, then I don't have any time for you. And, I was introduced to Umar from a very close family member. And this was probably 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, when he did his presentation was a little bit more polished. And I remember telling that family member that, this guy, he's a traveling preacher. And, he's really, he needs someone in public affairs or, that's good at actually representing a company or organization, public administration. He should not be the mouthpiece for this movement. At that time, I didn't know whether or not he was a fraud or not, but I could see that he was actually alienating the very people that he would need to eventually donate to the school. You can't alienate the people that can actually help you by ridiculing them and putting them down. And this close family member didn't quite understand, but as more time went by, I was able to point out that he's actually self-destructing what he's trying to do. And it's just clear that even if he wasn't a scammer, even if he was completely honest and sincere about what he's doing, he's completely unprepared to do this. He is completely incompetent and unprepared to do this, and it's really irresponsible. How can you buy a property of that magnitude and not go through a full inspection first? How can you still be discovering problems, over a year later? And that, that's really one of the things that, we really need to look at. It's not just the fraudulent and the criminal nature. It's the unpreparedness. It's the incompetence. It's the intolerance of anyone else that have the differing or opposing view that really should make him be unqualified. He's clearly never bought property before. He's clearly never managed a team before, large or small. And that's another thing, one of the things I told this close family member, where is his team? Where are the people that can say, yes, I agree with him and I'm standing by him? These are all telltale signs from the beginning that he was unprepared and would not be capable. You could give him $3 million right now with the best of intention, but his unpreparedness, his inability to get prepared, his incompetence would make him blow it. So the donors got to realize it's not about whether or not he gets the money. Even if he gets the money, he has no experience or preparation or skill to do what needs to be done with that money. It would be just like giving it to a 12-year-old that would go to the mall and spend it on toys and iPhones and this, that, and the other, the latest sneakers. That would be the same thing Umar Johnson would be, even if he was sincere. He's unprepared to do what he's talking about doing. He needs someone else to help him manage this. But now it's clear that he's a fraud, and I'm thankful for guys like yourself, Make a Change, Anti-Afro Svengalis, for pointing out the fact that he's not only unprepared, he's a scammer. And it's just really unfortunate. But man, again, I enjoyed the documentary. I hope you do more, and I hope more people listen to it and really, we just become more prepared to hear pitches of good ideas, because someone's trying to sell you something every day, but you have to be willing. You have to have a certain filter to be able to filter out the good and the bad. And it was clear from the very beginning that Umar had more bad than good. So I mean, I could say a lot more, man. I appreciate you, allowing me to be on your platform. Excellent job, and keep up the good work, my man.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it. And people are loving you in the chat room too, by the way.
I can't hear you. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just said people, they're loving you in the chat room.
I don't know what happened to my
it's
deal,
okay.
But I that's pretty much all I had to say, man. Hey, great job. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. We're about to wind down. We have one other caller on the line. I'll go ahead and put this in one last time if there's any last caller who wants to call in, just in case. We will be doing part 2 of our conversation next weekend. So, if you guys would like to talk next week, you can do that too. But I'll put this in here just in case. We have Taz exclusives coming up. Taz, are you there? Taz exclusives.
What's good, man? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's happening, man?
What's up with you, man? I just wanted to come over and congratulate you on a wonderful documentary. I actually did a review of it myself. So you know what I'm saying, just so you know, I streamed the whole thing on my own stream, but hey, it was a good documentary, very informative. The people in the chat enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? It was just something that needed to be said. I think one of the biggest problems we got is people misidentify what a scam is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't realize that a scam is when you seek to take money from somebody deceptively and you carry it on for, at this point, 10 years, which I think you've effectively proven, and still there's nobody able to provide any type of oversight for it. Now, everything with him seems to be, let's take it to the streets. I never really knew it was that deep. That, you know what I'm saying, the clips you put together and the way it was presented, I just never knew it was that deep. It's, you know what I'm saying, it's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? Some of the hypocrisy you showed and everything. It's still people out here cheering for him. And like somebody said before, at this point, it is pretty much ball game. The video will speak for itself. Anybody that's coming to me with some Umar shit, that's pretty much what you're gonna get from me. You gotta go watch. You gotta go watch Lynn and Honor video. He did a documentary on it, right? Well, what are we talking about now? You know what I'm saying? At this point, what are we talking about? So yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you, man. I ain't come to be long-winded to hold you down, man. I know you've been up here for a minute, so.
Oh, it's all good. Let me ask you, the part about him talking about murdering the boys in the streets. What was your take on that?
I never heard that. And to be honest, you know what I'm saying? I'm a content creator myself. I be around a lot of other black male YouTubers and whatnot, and I actually push back against that narrative. It's a narrative I'm starting to hear a lot. And just to be honest, I feel like a lot of it was validated with people like him. Somebody like him who's able to come in, play the pro-black role. You're intelligent kinds of people who may not be for what you for. So as he's spitting this stuff about the women, people are latching on to it and thinking that that's pro-black. He's representing something bigger than what he actually, you know, even himself realizes, because he could stop now, go in another lane and still be successful. You know what I'm saying? And so I think he represents something that he doesn't even know he represents. And a lot of these dudes that are listening to that type of shit for 4 or 5 years, they validate their hatred for women through content like his. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be a scholar. He's intelligent. He speaks well. He's successful. He's supposed to be doing this for black boys. So this would give men a validation through him to diss these women. And so, you know, like I said, I push back on a lot of that, man. And I feel like that is coming from the top. And I feel like he's one of the, like he calls himself the top scholar. Well, you can have that, because this is where a lot of these dumbass niggas getting that shit from. I'm sorry if I ain't supposed to say that.
It's all right. You from Southern California or you from Cali?
Nah, I'm from Ohio, man.
Oh, you sound like one of the homies from back in the day, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead.
But yeah, man, I just, like I say, man, I don't be looking for reasons to knock, you know what I'm saying, black folks, especially on something if you're supposed to be building a school or whatnot. But I deal heavy with Q Butter as Ziax. You know what I'm saying? So I know how it can happen, and I know it doesn't need to be some grandiose presentation. I was amazed by Q Butter and what he was able to put together with such small numbers and built it up to what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So you can't tell me with what he's gotten, he couldn't have done something comparable or even better by now. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, working close in hand with him, I just know what we're seeing from Umar ain't dedication. And I just, you know, I'm glad you did that.
Oh, thanks, bro. And I'll check out your stream. So your Taz exclusives, I'll check it out.
All right. I appreciate that, man.
Okay, yeah, take care. Thanks for calling in, bro.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man.
All right. Yeah, he sounded like he from Southern California. That's what I was like. Okay, all right. So next we got a Chief X, and then we got Craig Beach. Chief X, how's it going, bro?
Hey, how you doing, Lynn and Honor?
I'm doing good. Good to see you again.
Good talking to you again. You know I love what you're doing.
Oh, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
And I am from LA, West Side.
Oh, I know what's up. don't make me do it. Now I ain't gonna no, we didn't see that, okay? Go ahead. Yeah, what are your thoughts? You saw the documentary? Oh, looks like his screen froze. Okay, Chief, try calling back in. I mean, I should have been West Side. I should have done that. That's my bad. Let me get it back on. Chief X, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead. What are your thoughts? You got a chance to see the documentary?
Yeah, it was a meticulous, nicely made documentary. I appreciate you for that. People need to know, and I'm so glad it's going viral. You know, sometimes I call myself Chief X, the God's best, investors protective of women and children.
Mm.
So a lot of these women and children need to be protected.
No, I agree.
From Dr.
I agree.
Umar.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be a youth counselor for a whole decade and work with kids. I used to work with level 14 kids, bad kids, kind that you can't be in group homes and foster.
Okay.
Actually, most of his mental health information is wrong. That's not even right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead. Yeah, it looks like you froze again. Okay, it just went off. Okay. Oh, yeah, try calling back in. Let's go to Craig Beats. Craig Beats, are you there? Craig Beats, going once. Craig Beats, going twice. Are you there? Yeah, I think he is there, but he it looks like that he had unmuted his mic and then it's back on. You should. I don't hear you. All right, you want to try calling back in? You're welcome to do so. I'll put the call in one more time inside the chat, and then if we can't get back a hold of Craig Beats or Chief X, we'll go ahead and close out. Here is the call in. I want to thank everyone too for tuning on in. This went a whole lot longer than what I had anticipated. I want to also thank everyone who sent the super chats. I appreciate it. Let me go. I want to check and see. And I don't know if you guys saw this earlier. I had shown this earlier. I showed this earlier. This is that rock in front of the abandoned buildings in Wilmington, and someone sent me a picture of this. They took this today, so it has been defaced, and it's going to be interesting to see whether or not this is cleaned up or not. I mean, it's just. I think this is kind of like it's like a visual representation of what this whole Umar Johnson school scam, and not just a scam, but his character, all of that. This is kind of a visual representation of it. Let's see, we do have Craig Beats, and then we got Q Butter and then Harry. Let's see if we can get Craig Beats on here. Craig, are you there? Yeah, Craig? Yeah, I think there's probably something wrong with your microphone, bro. Maybe you want to check those settings and you can call back in. Let's go to Brother Q Butter. Brother Q Butter, you there?
Hey, what's good, brother?
Hey, what's happening, man? How's everything?
I am great, beloved. How you? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you there? Oh, it looks like everyone having problems with their cell phone right about now. Okay, let's go to Harry. Harry, are you there?
Hey, I'm there. How's it going, brother?
Hey, good. How's it going, Harry?
It's going well.
All right. Did you get a chance to take a look at the documentary?
I did. I watched it, and it was truth, man. I mean, my thing is that obviously with my wife being Caucasian, you probably call me a coon and a bootlicker.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Yeah,
no, not you, but I'm saying him.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what I think. I've talked to friends about it, and unfortunately, he offends a lot of the people who would support him.
Yeah.
And personally, I think, I'm a financial consultant. I've met him before, and I just think that a lot of the things, and realistically, I'm educated, have a degree in psychology myself, Bachelor of Arts from the Ohio State University.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff he says, he speaks his facts, and they're not. Their opinions. It's just like he tells who he's talked about the Darren Wilson, and they got over this much, and then part of that was true, part of it wasn't true. He speaks things as facts. He's like, just a lot of the stuff that is multiple things I could say, and then you got the threats, and he's got the this, and again, my thing is that the thing that I believe is really sad is really going to be someone, because the education system is flawed. I've been through it. I was in a meeting with, unfortunately, with an IEP with my oldest son, and they basically kind of pushed him through, and I didn't know anything at that time. I was young, so I didn't understand that. But it's really going to be someone, just like I left in the comments, it's going to be someone who really wants to open up a school for Black boys and Black girls and really wants to do something, and we won't believe him. Because we have Dr. Umar to, say that, it's that, we're just going to be so skeptical. And that's the issue that I have. Like, if you're going to build a school, and again, the sad thing is he's very knowledgeable. Like that's really the sad thing. Like because a lot of stuff I went through with my oldest son again, with his IEP, his learning disability, a lot of stuff he says is absolutely the truth. The problem is that he exploits his knowledge, and rather than using his knowledge for the right thing, he uses his knowledge to bully. Just like the whole bit of I'm Frederick Douglass, I'm Frederick Douglass, Ken, and all that stuff. Like, again, come on, man, you're in the house. Like, I know if I'm related, I'm actually related to, John Amos, who was on Good Times. I have pictures of him, and even though we're not close, we're distant cousins. But if I'm like, hey, this is our family together, and he had a house, I'm not going to be, it's funny. You see the comments, and people just laugh and come to the comments, but it's really sad. Like, we make it as a joke. But again, not to sound all long-winded, but it's really a sad, sad thing. Yeah. Because like I said, I really truthfully in my heart believe that someone's going to come along and someone is going to want to build a school and is going to have a great business plan. Going to come with a great business plan. They're going to come and we're not going to believe them. Because like I said, it's going to be, oh, well, we've already seen this. It's the same, same movie, different characters. No one's going to believe them and say, oh, because they're going to say, oh, well, Dr. Umar.
Yeah, hey, are you there? Yeah, it looks like your phone cut out there, or at least it looks like it froze. But I appreciate you calling in and appreciate your comments too. You also bring up an important point. Then we're going to go to Q Butter. One of the problems too, I think, and I didn't really address this in the documentary, maybe in part two, if I do part two. Again, it's going to depend on how Umar acts. If he starts acting a fool, wants to issue visuals, that's okay, fine. I'm not only into that tough Tony talk. I'm not only. I'll just do another documentary on your ass, and that'll be it. Is that part of the set? Well, I think that part of the tragedy is that what we're talking about is people who have sent him over $1 million. I mean, it could be $2-3 million by now. There's no way of telling. And all that support could have gone to someone else. It could have gone to someone who's actually doing something, who actually needs it, who's actually opening up a school or has already opened up a school. But then there's another dynamic is that there are people, all these, who knows how many thousands of people, probably tens of thousands of people who have supported him. The next time someone else comes around, it could be a brother, it could be a sister who's trying to do something to help children. They may be reluctant to try to help because of what Umar has done. I think that's a very important thing for us to recognize. Speaking of someone who has a school, we got Q Butter in the house. Q Butter, what's happening, man?
What's good, brother? How you feeling, King?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for calling on in.
Yo, my man. How you feeling? See, put in that work. Keep the pressure out there. Keep the pressure up.
Yeah, well, I'm doing my part. You had a chance to take a look at the documentary?
I've seen pieces of it. I was actually doing shopping earlier, stocking up. I hope everybody's stocking up. I was stocking up. And, my son. Yo, you already showed up yourself. What my son? My little goofy son right
Hey, what's happening? Hey, how's it going, young man? What do you got?
You doing good? Like, how you doing?
Great.
That's you doing great.
All right. Yeah, good to see you.
I started making a video.
And so I got the call, and it's funny because remember you sent me a clip, and it talked about Umar Johnson saying that he was gonna, get rid of certain kids and the hell with them. And I played it on a show, and people came back and said that engineers said it was fake, it was doctored, and I was like, Lenny ain't got no time to be sitting up there doctoring up this information. And then you put the video inside of there, and like 2 people sent me the link to it, and I was like, see, like that's his words, and it's sickening. And with today, what's going on, it's crazy. Take it like the brother just said. It's not, somebody that's doing the work may not get supported. I'm not to say glad that I'm going through what I went through and how it is, but I'm developing, and because of that, like what's going on, all of the schools are closed. We're already ahead of that curve. Half of our students, we have almost 60 students who are already enrolled online, and we're running 3 classes at the same time, and we expect to increase that to I'm hoping we might be able to double that before the entire New York City, New Jersey, tri-state area shut down their schools. So they're all going online, and they need somewhere. This New York City school system is not even prepared to do remote classes. And we're already doing that with no budget. We're doing that across the country. And so, we might not have been able to do that if we've already been afforded all these different resources. People dumped $1 million in my pocket. And so, trying to make light of the situation. But the reality is that resources are needed. I have mothers who are trying to figure out how they're not going to go to work because they can't go to work. Their children are now staying home because they're scared they got to stay home and they got to feed them and they don't have no money coming in. You know, and so being conscientious in developing programs, we have to know that the people we're trying to help are going through real life situations. I'm calling up parents, right? We just sent a text to our parents, like, look, we're going to Jetro. I don't know where y'all at, but please buy in a group. Go to the distributor and get as cheap as possible the products because the little corner stores, they're charging dollars on dollar and dollar for this stuff. And I'm trying to tell the parents, like, look, let's just chip in. Y'all can get a 30-pound bag of rice for the restaurant, you know, the restaurant style bags. But this is the conversations we're having with parents in our city and around the country to make sure that, you know, we're protected and we're able to network with each other the resources that we need to make sure that we are able to stay above float while this situation goes on. And that's the purpose of an institution in your community, a place that you can look to as a foundation, a place of security. We're still going to be open when we know that some of the parents, look, if you have to go to work and you have nowhere to go, you can come here. They don't have to worry about food. They're always fed when they come here. And these are the type of things that we need to be focusing on. But when you have people, you know, polarizing the view, coming up there hitting you with the, well, if our brothers don't get the funding we need, we won't be able to blah, 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 and hitting you with all the bullshit, beautiful tones and all that good stuff. People are looking for that versus looking for the real work like the brother, the speaker was talking about. And so it makes people like myself may not be getting the highlight that needs to happen, but for me, it's okay because the work is still getting done. We will be at 200 to 250 students next year. Our pricing model is unmatched. You know, whatever you can afford is what we work with. We ask $400 a month online, but whatever you can afford, like Lenny knows, we got kids, we got bills, we got this, we got that. So if you can only afford $100 a month, this much a month, and you can volunteer, you can do this, that's what you can do, and that's what we put in to make the model work. You know, and if you can volunteer time as a teacher, it may be 3 hours a week, 2 hours a week, but we're making it work off of the same platform you're using. We're using Zoom. We have, you know, Sister Irene Yvette, y'all can subscribe to her, see teachers, meet TX's children's in the program. We have three of her children's in our program, three of them. And it's just continuously growing. And the model that we have, that's why I like listening to you. You're a regular, not to say regular person, you are a down-to-earth person. Like, you know what I mean? You got the toys behind you on the couch. Like, you know what I mean?
My wife told me to take that. She said, "You want to take that down?" Before I said, "No, that's the girls."
Yeah,
They're like,
I love that. You know, what I mean? Fun to be over there. You got the picture of your family up there is beautiful. That's a symbol of greatness. And
thank you.
These are the things that we got to focus on. Like everybody's looking for this fall off image, and it's like, nah, we're not there. You know, and we're not at a super huge building right now. We're at a small space. Let's grow it up. Let's get a floor in a good building and get 100 students in each county to, you know, in wherever district we're in at, and take advantage of the systems that's going on. Even down to when they talk about the IEP that he talks about, the way he goes about it is from a service provider is all over the place. If you have the ability to help somebody with an IEP, what aspect of the IEP? Do they have a speech impediment? Do they have a behavior modification? Do they have hearing issues? Do they have physical issues? Do they have autistic issues? What type of autism? Is it mild? Is it extreme? What level do they have? And if he's so proficient in providing the services, which service do you provide? Because the cities pay you straight up and down. Like if you do speech pathology, all that stuff, boom, you're getting paid for that. If you're dealing with the behavior modifications, they're paying you in New York City $200 an hour. Do you want me to show you what an IEP bill looks like? I can show you right now.
Yeah, if you want to show it, you can.
Give me 2 seconds. While you talk, I'm gonna grab it right now.
Okay. All right. I want to show this to you all real quick while we wait for Q Butter to return. Let me do a share screen. I just want to show you guys where we are at with the Shockumentary. I just call it documentary, but here it is right here. It looks like we have 23,000. And this was, it's probably more than that now, but 23,000 people have viewed the documentary so far over the last, 25 hours, maybe 26 hours. And there's 2,000 likes and 105 dislikes and a whole bunch of comments too. So I want to also thank everyone who actually viewed the documentary, also people who shared it, because it has been shared you know, I've seen it all over the place. I want to thank everyone who has participated in that as well. So let's hold on. We're just going to hold on for Q Butter real quick. I also want to thank everyone who sent in super chats. We do have Craig Beats we're going to go to in just a moment, and then we'll close out the live stream. In fact, let's see if Craig Beats is there. Craig Beats, are you there? Craig Beats. Yo, what's happening, man? Thank you for being patient, man. How's everything?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I'm just sitting there. I'm glad I stuck around because it's almost bedtime for a brother over here.
It's almost bedtime for this brother in a minute. Did you see the time?
Hell
Yeah, did you get it?
Man,
Yeah.
I was at work when I saw the other live stream. I'm like, damn, it's kind of early. This nigga up this early doing a live stream. He's like 11 o'clock. I'm like, damn. So quick. I got out the truck. I got back in the truck. I'm like, this shit's over already. I peeped it again. I'm like, all right, cool. Tonight. I was like, all right, word. But that shit was on point, man. It was on point. This dude, long story short, though, with your boy, Umar, I seen this cat, like, 2012. A friend of mine, he was real big into him. So I took the trip with him, like 3 hours out to NY. Like the other cat was talking about the House of Consciousness. Man, he a fraud, man. You feel the vibes on him, like, almost right away. You feel the vibe. You're like, yeah, this cat's, like, kind of funny with it. But I was feeling the whole school thing. 2013 come around, like 8 months later, I'm like, all the excuses, I'm like, yeah, this nigga's a fraud. Ain't no way around it.
Yeah.
Definitely a fraud.
So you said that was back in 2013?
Yeah, 2000. I think it was 2012. It was like pushing 2013. It wasn't too long until his school was supposed to open. So I'm like, all right. I didn't give him no money or nothing because again, I felt the vibe, but I was definitely rooting for him. Like if he does get it popping, I'm like, all right, cool. But you hear the excuses from the videos. I'm talking to my bro. I'm like, son, this nigga's a fraud. Like, you can't see that shit. Like, but yeah, and that was back then. And I bumped into your video like 4 months ago. I'm like, damn, niggas hit this nigga still on this shit.
I know, it's amazing, ain't it?
So, yo, I was shocked. I let it go. I forgot about the dude. But man, they've been slamming him on his head these last few months, man. I'm like, shit, like it's the you can tell, man. This he's on something, man.
Yep.
He look like a panhandler on the side of the road.
Yeah, it's real talk.
It's sad. I try not to crack on him because I know some people I went to school with and all that, and they on that shit. And you know what I mean? You kind of feel you sympathize with him, but it's hard to sympathize for this cat, man. You know what he's doing, so it's like, you know what I mean? Everything comes back around, man. You can't fuck around with that energy. That shit is nothing to play around with. And he's getting his right now, man. It's above all of us. Like, he's getting it.
Yep. That's real
Shit,
talk.
the documentary was on point. You know what I mean? You surprised us with the cat from I forgot what state he was from. Dude.
Yeah, what's my man's name? I can't think of his name.
Labor.
Yeah, no, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. That was hilarious, man. That was hilarious.
It was good, man. Yo, keep up the good work, and I feel you on not getting threatened. I don't play that neither. You know what I mean? You talking about pulling up, nigga, pull up.
Yeah.
Don't be on the internet. No, ain't no the internet
That's not,
shit, man.
Yeah, that's not how the real ones do it, bro. That's ridiculous.
You gonna pull up, you gonna pull up. You know what I mean?
Well, thanks for calling in and thanks for being patient too, bro. I appreciate it.
Nah, anytime, man. When I see you live again, you know what I mean? I'll sit back and wait again, get on. You know what I mean? Have a few laughs with you. The comment section popping though.
Yeah, I know.
Really got me in with the Lennon. I'm like, yeah, let me make sure I watch all his lives because I be laughing my ass off. Man, my stomach be hurt. I feel like I just worked out and shit. Like, funny motherfuckers, man. For real.
Well, I appreciate it, bro.
No doubt, man.
Okay, man.
Peace to you and your fan, man.
Yeah, peace to you too, bro. Thanks, man. Yeah. All right, Q Better, what you got for me, man?
What's good, man? So it's crazy. Shout out to the sister that put me onto this. I didn't really have a clue about how IEPs work. So depending on your child, this is what it looks like in New York City. This is an IEP for a previous student I had, right? Mm-hmm. This was for behavior. And so depending on the level in which the behavior goes and when it starts, they start to administer drugs. Then depending on how the drugs work and the behavioral aspect, the issues they have, they'll determine the type of treatment they need. It might be anger management, it might be communication issues. A lot of things stem from speech issues. I don't really care about this organization. So the sister who put me onto this enemy said, Q, Umar is full of shit. In New York City, IEPs are ran by Jews. They're milking, and this is a big issue in our community. And so I'll discuss this, but in the Black community is being robbed. So this is what it looks like. One person, look at the pricing per month. This is a yeshiva billing $87,000 for one student.
Yeah, is that 87 or is that 8,720?
That's $87,200. And this is the Yeshiva Billing, New York City Department of Education. See, I'm the director of Baba Harana program, a private school, not approved. This is why she came to me, because she said, Q, you don't have to be approved by the city to be billed. You only have to be certified. And so in a business, and so when people ask me, Q, what makes you certified? You don't understand how businesses always work. I can be the owner, you can be a partner or someone who's highly affiliated with business, and you're certified. And your certifications can be used underneath the business corporation as well.
Yeah.
So that's why she brought me. I'm not gonna bring this too close. Let me just cross this out. I don't want nobody's info out there. But this is why she brought me. She said, Q.
Yeah, bro, you don't have to show it. Just tell us, because if there's
private people to know.
We got you. We got you. Yeah, we know you legit. You actually have a school, so come on, bro. Yeah, it's good. It's all good.
You just can't have a teaching certificate. You have to have a special education certificate endorsement, so that way you can build the city. Once you build the city, you're asking them for anywhere for $200 to $400 an hour, $150 an hour on the hour per student. This is like a multi-million-dollar business. Why is this so difficult? Big issue with Black students. In New York City, they raised the compulsory age to 17 and a half. You can no longer get skipped in New York City. And IEPs are being thrown on Black children like hot, like just thrown on them. And we're not billing us. It's white community and organizations that are coming in and reaping the rewards of saying that this Black child who got his first IEP at 11 is now going to be billable for $200 an hour until he's 17 and a half in this county. So you know what the rest of the country just did? Underneath our noses, raised the compulsory age. Around the country, it's no longer 16 in most states now. It's 17 or 18 years old. Your child has to be in school. It don't matter. And the only way to get out is if you're accepted into a college. And they're changing the way that works. The only way to get into a college is if you have a TASC or a GED certificate, and they're not releasing that certificate until you're 17 and a half. Even if you pass the test in New York, you will not have your certificate released to you because they want to keep this IEP money. And so when I hear Umar and these people talking about, like, hold on, bro, we're supposed to either get in the mix of providing the services to ourselves. We know how many Black people that may watch you who have a teacher's endorsement, a special education endorsement, and they're teaching a class with 30 children in it with special needs, and they're getting $70,000 a year. And then I show them that you can be billing the city $200 an hour and getting $80,000 a year per child if you did it as a corporation. And I show them this. And like, look, this is what you could be doing. And it's people, I bet it's sisters all over the country, brothers all over the country, who are actually building the system and working with the parents so they can do this. And then you have pro-choice. You have K-12. K-12 is taking advantage of these services. So they know, oh, your child has an IEP, keep their IEP. They're billing the city and taking that money from these children. And so these IEPs are just games that they're running with our children. And at the end of the day, we're not in the position to be properly serviced still. And they're not taking a holistic approach and not on some pseudo stuff, but saying like, no, are you thinking about the family's health? the family's income level? Are you thinking about the family structure? Are you thinking about the upper level structure of the family? This mother might be conscious, but is her mother conscious, and is she supporting her family? Is the father or the mother, or however dynamic working? And so many times these agencies only look at our families in a very, componentary sense versus looking at the entire picture and the support that we need. And so with our organization and any organization that anybody deems that they want to develop, these are the type of aspects that you have to, be vested into. And when I hear people, discuss the ideas of education and developing institutions that are said to be for the education of our community and profess to be, leaders in that field, they're completely all over the place. And then they, like you said, it polarizes the view and it creates a place where you're needed. You're like you're the opposing force. Like, all right, you're going to create this, but now you just created now he didn't create you, but unfortunately he created this aspect of you right here.
No,
and so that's this view, but we got the online education going on. We got the physical location right now. It's only available for parents who are working. Well, meaning that because of the circumstances in New York, they shut everything down. But if you want to enroll in our institute online, again, we ask $400 a month, $100 a week. You get 35 hours of educational time. $35 an hour a week. Literally, with our organization, it's a nonprofit or nonprofit organization, fully chartered, fully registered. There's like $2 an hour we charge, $2 an hour at the regular rate. But if that's not something you can afford, whatever's good for you is good for us. Just be consistent. 50,
how long, bro? Yeah, real quick. How long have you been in operation?
This is our second year in full operation. And I literally consider this my first year because last year was, I can't even say a precursor to this year. We have, there's 3 classes running. We're at 96 children right now nationwide, literally, and and it's a lot. Children, it's a lot. We have.
Oh, trust me, I know. How can people support?
You can volunteer. You can tell somebody who needs to enroll. If you want to just donate via cash, you can go to GoFundMe, type in the Zyx Institute, Cash App, #, Zyx the Movement. You can look us up as a charitable organization, as something you want to support on Amazon or whatever your website or organization that you like to buy from, Target. You can look us up on any of those websites. You can look at Zyx the Movement and become a sponsor for us and just buy what you want. You can email us to the Zyx Institute at Gmail.
Can you spell that for us?
XYAYX. The last Y is silent.
Okay, again, one more time.
XYAYX. TheZyxInstitute.org. And the nonprofit overarching website is ZyxTheMovement.org. So TheZyxInstitute.org for the institute, ZyxTheMovement.org for the nonprofit.
Okay, so let me pull this up because I want people to see this. Yeah, let me pull this up, Brother Q, because I just want to outline 2 things. One is this is a brother who's actually done it, but also he's a family man. Did y'all catch that when? Hold on, did y'all? Because I want people to hear that. Did y'all catch that when his sons embraced him like that? You see, that's more important than anything, in my opinion. And he's living it. But on top of that, he's doing the work that other people who ain't even involved in their children's life, like Umar Johnson. I just want people to think about that. As a family man, obviously there's love in his household, but then we got Umar Johnson. He's not even running the school, and he's an absentee father and been in child support for over 17 years. I just have to point that out. Q Brother, this is it right here, correct? Can you see this on your screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Brother Q Brother is on GoFundMe. If people want to support his project, I would encourage you to do that. I know I've done so in the past. And as soon as I come up on a little something, I'll make sure I do it again. But you know, Brother B.
Whatever you can. I would never, support is support. Like, I appreciate it. Like, nonetheless, like, you don't have to.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. Let me get up off of the thing so people don't see me as I enter in my information. But I just want to thank you so much for the work that you're doing and being an example, not just of a father, because I see the love in your household, but also as someone in the community that's actually doing the work. And I wish you all the best, bro. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. Keep your foot on anybody's neck. If I ever slip up, I want you to be right there, pop, Yo, Q, hold on, Q. Right, hold on, Q. You're slipping up now.
I'll let you know.
Pop me right in the back. I know guys in the chat room. Pop me right in the back of my Q. What you doing? What you doing? You getting gassed up, Q.
Okay. Right on. Thanks for calling in, bro.
I appreciate that. Beloved.
Okay. Yeah, appreciate you, bro. All right, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my donation right now. I'm going on to the GoFundMe. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. I really appreciate it. This turned out to be a wonderful live stream. It actually went for almost 3 hours. We're going to be out of here in a minute and a half. I can't believe it. It went by so quickly. Thanks everyone inside the chat. Also, thanks to all the super chats. There were another super chat came in from Rodney. He says, great documentary. Keep telling the truth and being a man of class and honor. Thank you so much for the kind words. And also thank you for the super chat. Also, next week we will do part 2. We'll do this. I think we'll probably be doing this once a week where we get together and we dialogue like we did here today. The documentary is Umar Johnson, War on Black Boys. And let me just go ahead and show you where we are at in the documentary right now in terms of views. I'm going to refresh this page really quickly. Let's see what we got here. We are now at 23,439 views. We got 2,200 likes and 107 dislikes. Again, I want to thank everyone who took the time to watch the documentary. I also want to thank everyone who shared it. There's a lot of people who've shared it. At this point, it looks like it's going viral. So I really appreciate that. Again, I want to say one last thing to everyone. In addition to thanking you all for your support, I don't have any malice towards Umar Johnson. I'm just not that kind of person. You know, I don't live like that. And I just can't, you know, I'm just not like that. But on the other hand, what he's doing is wrong, it's criminal, and he's hurting people. And you know, in my mind, the way I look at this, he's putting children's lives in jeopardy, and he's preying upon single black mothers. That shit has to stop. It's unacceptable. And for those of y'all men out there, you talk all this black conscious talk, and you know, I've heard people say things like, no, we do need to get out here and murder these black boys. What kind of talk is this? What your ass needs to be doing in the first place is if you want to talk all that black talk, how about this? Commit to a black woman first. First of all, get your ass straight, because you wouldn't be talking like that if your ass was straight. But get your ass straight first. Then commit yourself to a black woman. Marry her. Have some babies and be there present in your children's life. Let's start there. That's the solution. People saying, well, Belinda, what are you doing? That's what I'm doing. And the only reason why so many of us don't understand why that is important, the first institution being the family, is the most important institution, is because we have been raised in a culture that doesn't value that. And I'm not talking about the largest society. I'm talking about, to a great extent, black culture is based on dysfunction in these regards, male-female relationship dysfunction. You want to do something for black people, you black men out there? The answer is not going out here to murder black boys. Umar Johnson's war on black boys. That's not the answer. The answer is to refine yourself as a man, prepare yourself so that you can commit yourself to a woman and build a family institution, and then be there for your children in the first place. When I saw Q Butter's 2 sons embrace him like they did, I know what that is. I know exactly what that is, and it's a beautiful thing, and it can happen for all of us. But we have to make sure that we're seeing the proper examples, and Umar Johnson is not. He's the antithesis. I'm gonna say this last point. He epitomizes the worst example of black manhood, masculinity, fatherhood, and husbandhood that I've ever seen. And on top of that, he preys on the most vulnerable people in our community. I will continue to do my part to share information to help to protect people from Umar Johnson and scamming and scheming and preying upon the weak and the vulnerable. It's wrong. Next week, we will have part 2 of our discussion, and I look forward to talking with you all then. Again, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time to tune on in to the live stream. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, y'all take care. Peace.